the CN Tower. Where is it? Can I show this now? It's like not what I, like this is, oh, can this one work? Oh, this one works. Here we go. Here. Can we do this? So this exists. There's 3 of them. One of them is looking at the CN Tower.
That's live, though.
This is live. There's 3 of them. I was looking at the wrong one. This is the right one. So we can actually, I'm going to send this to you if we can.
Look at that gold building. That's Royal Bank, the gold building right in the middle. There's Scotiabank.
I thought it rotated.
It's right there. That's
but I can't rotate it. I guess it doesn't rotate.
Oh, well. And then, yeah, that, whoopsies.
And then
all right. Look, guys, it's been an absolute blast. Thank you so much. There it is. You rotated it. There you go. That's the lake. Yeah. There's Joe's house right there somewhere.
It's the Island Airport.
There's the Island Airport. That's where Joe's helicopter's parked right now.
Yeah.
Over there. My house is like right where you are right now, over in the West End, down there. Shout out to West End.
We'll find a better one. But if we can get like
if we
can do something like that.
All right.
That'd be sick.
See ya. Oh, shit.
What's the, oh yeah.
Oh, man. I got to get to the gym quickly here, but we cannot do that without knowing what's for lunch. And we're always on the salad train around here, but let's just have a quick little look to see what's for lunch. And I don't want to send Sharif or Joe in a bad mood right here. So let's just see if this is good. Okay, today is of the Mexican variety. So you'd be thinking maybe tacos. I don't know what you're thinking, but it is
obviously tacos.
Mexican beef chili with Mexican rice, with Mexican street corn and corn salad.
I feel like they're just making chili with rice, and they have a bunch of corn because we did the corn salad before, and they're just calling it Mexican.
There's nothing wrong with that.
They're just calling it Mexican when it's just like a regular dish.
Well, today has 2 pieces of corn, street corn and corn salad. That's what's for lunch.
I like corn.
All right, it's been a blast. Thank you, Jeff Mendel, our guest. Thank you to Mitch from Trade the Pool.
Thank you, Mitch.
And most importantly, thank you to David, Day Trader LA, everybody that super chatted today. We can't do it without you. Thank you so much for everybody who's viewing us right now. Thanks to Dara. Thanks, Fabian. Please don't fall on me. Thank you to Ramin Sharif this morning and for his note. Joe for his option updates and his upgrades. And I mean, Joe and his upgrades and downgrades. Is there anybody better that does that? I don't think so.
You can't find that sultry voice just anywhere.
No, and I want to thank Andre for the switching. And when Ramin does something, I'll thank her too. So
whoa. No, we literally did it. Hold on a second. We just talked about the new video we're dropping, which I'm pretty sure was done by Ramin.
Yeah.
I'm Team Ramin all day. All day. The first thing I'm going to do is jump to her defense.
Yeah,
straight
man.
up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Neil, you're the man. Hey, Ramin, how are you doing? What was the first thing I said to you today, by the way? Pardon me? You have to check the tapes. Now Ramin wants to know what's being said over here.
Nothing.
I know nothing.
I backed you up. That's all I'm saying.
Neil has your back. All right. Thank you so much to everybody. We're having too much fun around here. And until 2 o'clock, you're going to have fun with these boys. We'll see you then. Neil, Sean, ciao for now.
Peace.
Ram just caught that hook.
Whoa, why are we doing that again? Why are we doing it again?
Ram caught the hook, man. Yes, finally, somebody joining on the anti-Ram train. Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show.
That's it. It's done. It's over.
She did that, by the way.
It's over.
Assassino let her, though. He let her. Shout out to Ram. We love you, girl. Just joking. All right, where everybody at, man? Shout out to Mr. RJ. We got Feno. We got Ronaldo. We got Mike P. right there. We got Trader Gibby on X, and we got Ben, Joey. Shout out to Hangry Wife. We got Get Off My Boat, who is faded. Dude, it is too early to be faded. Dan Gale and Mr. TP. Shout out to John Tantrum. Today is the day for the tantrum. The market be dropping. Mimi, Kirk D. We got Brad Warner and Apogee King. Jacob C. Philosopher on a Mission. Shout out to Rajesh. Shout out to, who else, man? No Channel, all right? Atif, we got Tech We Love. How about Wyatt? Ja El Press, the Katina Man's in the chat. Shout out to Ichiro. Save Man, Woman, Peace. Okay. Ja El Press, I think I said that one. Jaguar Not. Who else? We got Timas. We got What You're Doing. Steph, bro. Sharif, he says. Jody Mills, Joey.
Bro, what was that
PC
guy?
Hoon. What's up,
Whose
Joey?
name is that? What was that guy with the step bro name in?
I don't know, man.
You
Check
got
that one, Joey. You're gonna have to check that one.
All right.
Good morning, brother.
All right. Good morning, man. I hope everyone's having a solid one and a good start. Definitely choppy, guys. We took a couple hits, but that's okay. We're just sitting on our hands right now, waiting for some opportunities. I mean, Bitcoin's strong. A couple of us in the chat were talking about this. I took an attempt earlier in the day, and I'm like, oh no, and then sure enough, that second VWAP break was the entry. But now we're starting to form a solid consolidation, and I like our chances off of these lows, considering how vicious this selling was for a sustained bounce. So as long as we hold this consolidation, then I'm going to be sitting in this trade. Once we break below, the chances of it doing an additional liquidity grab are there, but I need to see the momentum shift in Bitcoin. Obviously, the market is selling, but with that being said, I do like our chances of climbing a little bit higher. I did take a couple other trades here, and that's going to be in TSLL. We went heavy on them, but that's okay. We got it when we were supposed to, just mitigating risk. So we go long there, get a nice pop, and I'm like, oh, that didn't work out how we wanted it to. So we got out right away, and then just small paper cuts on that front. So not too bad whatsoever there, Sharif. That's what we got going on. We're long IBIT right now.
All right, we got 3 trades on. Let's get right down to them. Then we're going to talk about the side charts. EPSM, hold at the 10 EMA and on VWAP. There we go. We got 92s on. We just took out 202. Now we're waiting at 4s, 11s. Let's see if we can get and stay above 2. It's been a tough trade at 2, multiple candle rejections, rejecting 2. There it goes into 9s. Now we are waiting at 11s. Let's see if we can clear that 11. Then we're waiting at 15s. EPSM up 45%, give or take. Shout out to SOC. This one's treating me nicely over here. Let's not change that. We're looking to take Prince into 65. We're looking to take Prince into 69. This one not nearly up as much as some of the others, up 6%, but a decent chart pattern, some higher lows. There goes into 66. Now we're waiting at 69. Shout out on SOC. What happened? The Katina man is printing up several storms on Tesla. Make sure you are keeping your eye out in the chat for the Katina man's levels. He's often putting them in there. We're also long VNDA. I'm not plugged in, Assassino. I'm sorry, brother. I know I disappoint you every day, brother. I'll be better. But sorry. VNDA, we're looking to go long. We're going to the big desk with the Dara.
Just keep an eye here on GOOGL because Google just announced their Gemini 3. Apparently, it's now available in Google Search, and it does start with an AI mode. This is being announced by Google's blog. So again, GOOGL announcing the long-awaited Gemini 3, which is now available in Google Search. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Yes, so we were talking about VNDA. That was the last one. This is the only one I'm not in the money on. We're 19. We're in at 19. It's showing me 18s. I do like the respect this one has for the 10 EMA. It's got a 524 high, but I perceive that 520 area to kind of be that flat top. We're also accumulating with higher lows for that flat top break, but I want to make one thing very clear. We talked about this yesterday. Even though we got that flat top break on TMQ, remember trading TMQ through 4? We got the flat top break, but it was an anemic flat top break. That has to do with the market conditions in which we're trading. We're not getting continuation, even though chart patterns are setting up the right way. There just isn't that buying liquidity we've seen in the past. You have to account for that on these small cap gappers. So what does that mean? That means we're taking profits at earlier levels, and we're probably going in with a little bit less size, less the stock turn against us. So that's what I wanted to talk about right now. Shout out to my man Almog. He's saying OLMA, BTQ, and ARVN. We're going to get to that in a second. But as the Assassino alerted me, we got David. David is always dropping cashola in the chat, Joey. And we happen to like people who drop cashola. No implications, of course, for anybody else. No requirements. But shout out to my man David. Ram. Small shout out to Ram and Fabian. Just a small one, Ram. But you're getting a shout out. I can accept the Fabian shout out though. I don't. That was her hand on the camera.
Look at that skill, man.
He's fantastic.
All right, there we go, Sharif. Bang,
Show him,
bang.
Joey.
We're cooking up there. John Tantrum, yeah, brother. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. There we go. We take a little bit out of the TQs. Chef Joe, no. He's like, hey man, how's that microwave tilapia? And I'm like, dude, listen. We went like a couple of days, and I knew that there was gonna be an influx of tilapia. straight away email the lunch. No, straight away email the lunch lady. Hey, please no tilapia for the lunch, so I get that alternative, which is usually typically chicken. But aside from that, guys, IBIT starting to climb higher. This is what I'm talking about. Rusty, listen, we're going to pull it up on a daily right now just so we can see and get a little bit better of a picture of what we got going on. I do believe that we're going to be in for a bounce. And also, we're going to talk a little bit more about some other things as well, too, guys. Like me personally, I was telling the boys last night, I did trim my IBIT position in the long term, still heavily and still one of my largest, but now I'm sitting on some cash waiting to grab some of these nice tech names at these lows. So there it is, guys. That's my game plan there. Here it is, and this is what I'm looking at, right? So we have this consecutive selling, and you know I'm keeping an eye on for some of these prints at extreme highs and lows. So what is this telling me? That I think we might be in for a short-term bounce in Bitcoin. Well, we also have this trend line here as well, too, guys, starting to get that move. Perfect hammer candle, and who knows, 100K, 105K would be absolutely wondrous if we can get that move. Adara, talk to us.
Did you hear it was Ram there?
It did, I did, yeah.
We've on watch, guys, CRWV appearing at the Wells Fargo TMT Summit and making some comments here saying that they've nearly doubled their revenue backlog over the last quarter. So again, CRWV talking about their increasing revenue backlog during this Wells Fargo TMT Summit. I looked it up. Looks like they just began their presentation at the summit at 11 a.m. So if there are any other updates, of course, I'll let you know. Back to you.
Beautiful stuff, my guy. Nice long there on Tesla. Katina, you got $6 as quick as you'd like. So bang, $8. Boom.
Get it right,
Quick
Joey.
maths. Quick maths. So well, I'm not even going to do the math on it. There's a whole lot of dollars in the money there, my brother.
That's money.
It's money. Hold on here. Let me hit it for the brothers there.
Oh,
Bang. All right. No, in all seriousness, nice trade there. We're looking to post up on IBIT to see if we can catch an additional fill just below 52.90s. I like our chances because the tape is telling us that it's relatively strong today. You can see that additional leg higher. Money Storm is right, and it's also
You got to be coming down angry and stuff, though. Cussing at the crowd, asking for beers to be thrown to you. You know what I mean? Cursing and like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, doesn't he flip the bird? Doesn't he flip the bird
constantly,
a lot?
but he goes the other way.
Does he?
You know, yeah. He doesn't go like this. He goes like this.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That's his move.
Flip the bird.
All right, let's get right down to business, okay?
Let's get down.
Because there's a lot of small cap gappers moving. Chief among them, Joseph Options, BTQ. I know that this is not the largest one in the market right now, up the most. I mean, 16%. It's all it's got under its wings. But look, take a gander at this beautiful looking chart pattern. We get a bull flag to start the morning here right at 9:30. We consolidate right into VWAP. And then boom goes the freaking dynamite, 689 high. It is a little bit spready. Be on the lookout. I'm buying this off the 10 EMA. I need it to come in a little bit, okay? I've also involved here in Epsom Salts EPSM, sorry, I know. It's just the first thing that came to my mind. 211, we're looking for a beak wetter there. We've got the higher lows. We don't necessarily, though, have the higher highs. We got a bamboozling higher high here at this 1105 candle because it did break the high of the prior candle, but no continuation. So keeping my eye on that. VNDA, look at this gnarly chart pattern. We talked about this 520 flat top break. I just got the beak wet there for the first time at 520. Let's see if we can get continuation above the $0.25. This one, SOC, is starting to displease me, okay? And this one kind of looks like a bull flag. It's kind of all over the map. What got me involved in this one was the higher low. So take a look at that double bottom we put in at 444, and then we bottom out there at 450, double bottom again. We hold the higher lows. We're having trouble, though, with those higher highs. To get that higher high, we have to print something above 70, 71. And quite frankly, I'm seeing a lot of topping tail candles manifest here on SOC. What does that mean to me if I keep habitually seeing topping tail candles on a stock? That means selling pressure is quite aggressive, right? Every time the longs make a move, the shorts are equally as strong, if not stronger, forcing that candle to basically avoid closing at the candle high. Be on the lookout for that. SOC is what I'm talking about. But now it is time to take prints here on VNDA as this one weasels into the high side. How about that other one we got on? How's Epsom Salts doing? Well, it's not doing it quite yet. We're looking for that print right around 211. It's working into that 206, 207 area, but no continuation as of yet. BTQ, this is the one that we started off the analysis. We got an inverse hammer candle that closed at 1110 at the day high, 689, and this current candle is red, but doesn't necessarily have, you know, that lower low status. I'm gonna be looking for something around 6 1/3, maybe a little bit lower in the 6 mid to high 50s, only because that's where the 10 exponential on the 5 is. I'm quite alive to that right now, and I want to put in a dip trade to that. So let's go ahead and sit here. We're gonna, Joey, I'm not gonna wait at 666s because you know what happens when you wait at 666s. But we're gonna wait at 6.5. So we're gonna see what we get there. Shout out to my man Neil. We won't get upset. What do you got?
No, we won't get upset. Sometimes I get upset. I'm not gonna. I get upset, and sometimes I
I get upset a lot. It's part of my people's nature.
They're
quick to anger, quick to cool.
It's just like, wait, you guys have like conversations yelling at each other, no? It's just like
most of the interactions between Middle Easterners is yelling.
It's yelling. It's just like
it's a lot of
but
yelling.
It's just like, hey, it's just like regular conversation. I'm like, man, these guys are tripping. No, it's like not.
A lot of hurt feelings, a lot of shouting.
Instantly, right away, and smoking cigarettes all the time as well too, just yelling at each other, which is crazy. Stay off the wacky. All right, guys, there it is. We're posted up at 53s on IBIT. So NVDL, yeah, we're going to take a look at that from my friend. They said they want to see what NVDA is up to. We got them reporting after the bell tomorrow, the much anticipated, as a lot of individuals refer to as the Super Bowl of earnings.
Super Bowl.
We were looking at the expected move yesterday. We'll go over it a little bit later in the session. But what are our chances? Do we have a poll here? Okay, here's a poll for us to Assassino. Does NVDA exceed its expected move? Yes or no?
Bro, when Ram's around, right, we gotta take...
Okay, all right, we'll do it slow here. Does NVDA... What happened?
She's gonna kill you.
Why? Okay, hold on, I'll start over again. Ramin, you're listening this time. All right, does NVDA exceed its expected move on its earnings report? Yes or no? Did you get that one?
Oh boy.
Okay, bang, there we go, bang, perfect stuff. So there it is, guys, NVDA. We're gonna zoom out and take a look at this from a daily perspective. Like, listen, we're heading towards some key floors. We talked about this, but I would not be surprised if we see an additional rip. If you break through some of these levels, that's when you want to be keeping an eye out. Anything south of 175, I'm a big time buyer, all right? So there's NVDA starting to form a nice base, and then if the support gives out, then be a little bit cautious. Now, as for AMD, slightly bearish on this name, considering we've been going on some big time moves here. 226.02 is going to be that support level there, guys. If that breaks, I'm going to suspect some more downside. And do we head in towards 187, 190s? I think so. I like our chances, especially if we don't receive the rate cut that the street may be looking for. So potentially pricing some things out here.
All right.
Oh, sorry. One more thing there, my brother, man. There it is. Bang, Phil. You guys just caught that live at 53s in IBIT. The bounce. Sharif, I said that to you this morning. Over the next couple of days, we might experience a bounce in Bitcoin. And sure enough, we're starting to see that. Nice to get this thing rocking and rolling. By no means am I anywhere close to where my contract's average price is, which is all the way up in essentially no man's land, which sucks drastically. But hey.
What happened, Joey?
Me writing calls, baby.
You know why they saw it live?
Why?
Because you did it live.
Because I did do it live.
Hey. All right, guys.
That's my new move, the Spider-Man.
Okay, bro. Killing me with that. I like it, though. I'm not going to lie. Do you like Spider-Man?
Yeah, I like Spider-Man. I think everybody likes Spider-Man.
Yeah, you know.
It's friendly.
Spider-Man.
And his neighborhood.
You know what he can do? Can do whatever a spider can. There we go, baby. All right, EPSM, we're out of that one. It broke, trend it made. Excuse me, Ramram?
The poll is up. Make sure you get those.
The poll is up. Thank you very much, Ramram. So kind of her to do her job. No, EPSM. where it's bouncing off VWAP, but I had to get out of it because it made the first 5-minute candle make a new low, so that broke trend, but it is still compressing, mind you. So let's see if we can get in here for less shares. Yeah, better price there too, mind you. So let's see if we can take out some profits, possibly into that two-sters again. There goes 95. Nicely in the money already on EPSM. Let's see if this one works in. Look, BTQ didn't let me in, man. I tried. I put in a dip trade to kind of account for that. It's not letting me in, and now it is trying to trend up again, but it's got a bit of a bamboozling pattern here. 3-candle indecision. So let me show you what I'm looking at over here. So bottom middle of your screen, BTQ right there. Look at this candle, hammer candle into the new high, and inverse hammer candle into the new high, green hammer candle, which made a new low, but ends up closing green. And this candle right now that we're in at 1120 is a candle of indecision. Unsure how to proceed here with BTQ. I think I'm just going to leave my order active to take that dip trade. I'm looking for mid 60s, and the 10 EMA right now is showing me low 60s. So I think I'm front running it by enough. Let's give that one the old college try and see what happens there. So I'm going to wait for my dip trade, mid 60s on BTQ, already showing me 72s here on the bid. So we'll see what we get there. What's going on, Joey?
We catching the feels, baby. We catching the good old feels. All right, guys, I want to read this here. So market rises only, check history is the name. That's his name at the end of the day, all right? Same years ago, I'm assuming this meant to be, some years ago, NVDA event dip to make millions in just one day. NVIDIA plus 20% in one day last year. Market only goes up. NVIDIA rose a number I'm not even going to pronounce there of 244,000% till now. Tesla rose 2,800%. Google, Amazon rose 600%. BT, I don't know what BT is, but maybe BTC, 1,000K%. All right, thank you very much for that. Does the market only go up? I think some of the only good names. That's the beauty about the S&P. It'll just rotate. If you suck at the end of the day, you're gone. You're out of there. So it's always going to be the best 500 companies. And I think that's something positive about just holding into a long term. Sharif, you and I were looking at it from a long term perspective. I think it was over a 20-year span. You got, what, 1,000% or something like that?
Okay, so 20 years?
Yeah.
I did the math for real estate. I wanted to compare Toronto real estate to the S&P 500.
Oh, but that went
So I took
exponential.
1970. It's not even close, Joey.
To the real estate. Yeah, it's not even close. Yeah.
Like, market destroys real estate, Toronto real estate, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, wow,
Almost every 10-year time
Oppo.
frame you take, the market destroys Toronto real estate. Kind of hard to believe, given that Toronto real estate is
I'm
super
shocked.
parabolic. So here's the deal. I'm just going to tell you real quick.
Yeah.
1970 to 2025. I'm not going to go through every decade. I'm just going to take 70. 3,700% for Toronto real estate, but if you include property taxes and maintenance and all that, it's more than 300 to 400%. That doesn't include rental income. So if you were generating rental income, it's not included. So that's a bias. Now the market, the S&P 500,
in that
7,700%, and that doesn't include invested dividends. One second. It doesn't include invested dividends.
Yeah.
If you reinvest the dividends that you got, we're talking about 13 to 14,000%. It is not even close. It's not even close.
In a decade span?
1970 to 2025. If you go decade by decade, I think there's one decade maybe where Toronto outperforms the S&P.
Okay.
One.
So there it goes. Stonks only go up. Apparently at the end of the day, stay away from the speculation, obviously, at the end of the day. Oh, also we were talking about the quantum ETF the other day, and it's essentially masked by all the other tech names. So you have the big quantum names, Rigetti, QUBT, QBTS, IonQ being its top holdings. And, so that was a dramatic pause right there, but the rest of it is weighted through Google and everything else, Apple and Microsoft and everything along those lines. So yeah, it's hidden essentially at the end of the day. But this is what I'm talking about, a bid catching in Bitcoin. I could just tell by the pre-market action, I'm like, all right, this is good. And when I was looking at it last night, I'm like, all right, there we go. We're gonna get a little bit of a bounce here in this space. So we're rocking and rolling. Our next order did get filled at that 53.10s, and then sure enough, we got 53.20s posted up there right now for an additional out, my friend.
All right, Joey, I like it. I like hearing that, my man. Hope you're printing up several storms on that side of the desk. Always want our people around, man. You ever hear, not the expression, but if you put out good juju to people in your circle, it's a self-serving thing because good energy reverberates back around.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like that's one of the reasons I always say put out good juju. It is a selfish reason. At the end of the day, because you want that good juju back.
I mean, isn't it easier to be nicer to people than it is to be mean to them?
I think for certain people it might be easier to be mean, just generally based upon their sullen disposition. I'm not looking at random.
Okay. I see where you're going with that one.
I'm playing.
It's easier to be mean. Yeah, Mike P. the writer. I could tell it. This guy, Mike P. is a positive individual. He's water people, man. Way of water. So shout out to Avatar and Fire and Ash coming out very soon. I'm looking forward to that one. I know Sharif is as well too. I'm looking forward to that movie coming out. But we're just waiting for an additional fill there, guys, in IBIT. Google, a nice bounce off of these lows. I was thinking about logging it up here, but let's be patient. But sure enough, off to the races. That was 20 minutes ago. And then now you're climbing $6 higher. Wow.
$6 is crazy.
Go, that's some go gadget Google at the end of the day.
All right. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Party P, man. Love the vibes. Yannick, LFS. I'm seeing it, Yannick, but it's insane. Right? Like I've been looking right at it the entire time. Somebody was alerting me or basically saying in the chat, Sharif, hey, look, LFS is going, but it was before I was logged in, so I asked Joey to message him on my behalf. So I've been watching this for a while. It's a good compression pattern, Yannick. I happen to love it. The higher lows are very much in play, but because it's a compression pattern, Yannick, it is also afflicted by lower highs. So we're looking for 650 here, continuation on this monster. Here is 650. Is this the breakout? I don't know. I don't want to be caught going long on the breakout only to get shellacked. Look at it drop after making that I think 63 candle high, right down into the 30s we go. Let's be on the lookout here. Yannick, I kind of feel that the right entry is to pick this up on the lower trend line. So if I can kind of show my black charts over here, will allow me 1 second. Bottom left of your screen, there's LFS. So that's kind of what I'm talking about, compression pattern, lower highs but higher lows. Yannick, I think that probably $6, if we get another attempt at it, might be money, but it looks like it might be breaking out. And if it's going to be breaking out, we might take a long here, depending on what I see on the tape and the time in sales. So 675 is a local area high. Then we're also afflicted by the 1050 candle that has a high of 699. So $7 rejection. I'm talking about that area right there on the 1, then bottom screen will be the 5, and I'm talking about right there. So be on the lookout. I'm certainly on the lookout. Let's see what we're going to do with this one. But we're taking prints here. Let's see BTQ. There's the first print on BTQ. A clean hold of the 10 EMA. We got 68s. We just wet the beak at 77. Looking for continuation into 80. Let's see what comes of this one. How about SOC? You see me?
Ooh.
There we go. Shout out to John Cena.
Oh, I didn't see anything.
He aged a little bit, bro. He's looking a little bit
because
old.
He probably got off the gear a little bit.
You think so? Yeah. Well, when The Rock started doing that acting in the beginning, he dropped a lot of weight. Then he gained it back again. Remember that?
Man, some of those wrestlers.
Oh, Joey, I'm sorry, brother. I got to talk about this. LFS is breaking out, guys. Here we go. The breakout is on now on LFS. What a move into 7. Joey, if we reject 7, that is going to be trouble because we've rejected 7 before. There's 699. Big size at 7 here. From what I can see, a couple of hundred lots. It's always what we can't see with these small cap gappers. For the moment, we are not clearing 7. Take a gander at that 1050 candle. It did reject 7. Do we get that continuation? We're not getting it yet, Joey, even though the volume on this, very, very impressive. 99 showing up again over here. Let's see if we can get a micro pullback, maybe off like the low 90s. Let's give this one a try. And then we're going to post up here a little bit higher. And then we're going to post up above 799 showing up again. Huge seller at 7. Can't shake him, Joey. Got throwing stops. What do you got?
All right, man. We're looking to take an additional print here on
Joe! what a break into 7 1/4.
You just said you were done.
Yeah, well, I have to throw out stops, my boy. I have to throw out stops. There it goes, baby.
Oh, whoa, come to my screen. Oh, we missed it. Damn.
Wait, man.
Oh, you're not
Limit
done?
up. Look at this. So we're going to halt here,
Yeah,
Joey.
go
There's
over
the
the
limit
next
up. Let's
We
see
got
if
too
we're going to
much going
halt,
on
baby.
right here.
Oh, no.
Look at the
Fake halt there, Joey. Back into 25s we go. That's where limit up is, guys. That's what we're talking about when we're saying look at the red rectangles. False halt again, Joey, as this is all over the map right now. Get it, Sia. Let's see if we can get above that 750 area. Posting up here. What do you got? Oh, I think we're going with Dara.
Yeah, I have AMD guys on watch here. Humane, according to Semaphore, is going to be announcing new deals with U.S. firms tomorrow, including Amazon and AMD. So again, Humane, which is this Humane AI, they're based in the Middle East. They're apparently, according to Semaphore, going to be announcing new deals with U.S. firms, including Amazon, AMD, and even Elon Musk's XAI as of tomorrow. Back to Sharif and Joe.
Yeah, she doesn't know me quite well yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, she doesn't know about what goes on around here. Oh, you'll find out. You'll find out. She's just getting ready.
You know what? Sooner rather than
later. And they may see her on Thursday. We're not even supposed to be talking about people right now.
Because they don't know who.
They don't know who we're talking about. But clearly they know that there's somebody.
Hold on.
There's somebody that's new.
Are we allowed to do a? No, we're not going to.
What are we doing, Joey?
I was going to say a brief introduction.
Introduction.
I'm getting the don't do it. Don't do it. We're not going to do it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't. But we might do it.
Don't accidentally walk behind the camera or anything like that.
Over here
don't do that.
Or anything, or pick up that mic that happened to be over there, or anything. You know what I mean? You're good. All right. We'll get you involved. We'll get an introduction here.
Joey,
go ahead, man.
You want to know what's going on with BTQ?
Are you still in it?
We're taking prints.
Oh man,
we're taking prints, my boy.
Now.
All right, BTQ. Into the money we go. Mike PD Ryder, you will find out very soon. I promise you guys, you will all know about her. IB Surfin already knows what's going on there.
Ooh, IB Surfin would be friends with Mike PD Ryder. All right, guys, hold on. We're going to post up over here. Sure, we got to
go with Jay.
We're going to rock and roll. Post up at 53.30s and take another little bit out, guys. I only have 20% left of this position as we catching this second leg in. Oh my, this is going absolutely disastrous right now, Sharif. Got to get my fingers together here. This is crazy. Boom, let's post up. Even though I don't know why I'm necessarily panicking, we're not even close to that target. But there it is. We'll post up on an additional print over here, and there we go. We're rocking and rolling. 53.30s is going to be that next target. And this is what I was talking about earlier in the day, guys. That strong consolidation, forming these consistent higher lows, and sure enough, bang, we get that move and we get that additional breakout. We didn't even need to absorb more liquidity south of this support line as we take that additional leg higher and higher. So that is what we were looking for, and the relative strength is most definitely in Bitcoin. Look at Google Go, Sharif. This is insane.
What's it doing, Joey?
Buy program. Look at this, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes.
That's a Buff effect.
Oh, it is the Warren Buffett effect. Let's zoom out and take a look at this name from a daily.
Take a look.
This thing is going to go insane.
What's it
if
doing?
you don't break through this 275 letter, you have this consolidation, and this thing is absolutely off to the races.
Off to the races, Joey. All right, we're done our trade on LFS, but that doesn't mean that I'm completely done. I'm looking at getting back in, just really looking for the right spot. So I'm going to look towards that 650 area. Why do I say that 650 area? Well, that's the break of the top trend line, right? And so if it's a previous area of resistance, I'm going to look for it to act as support. There's a buyer here at 50. There's 50. Let's punch. Let's see if we can punch up. What do we get there, Joey? No, we're gonna have to flatten out if it loses 40. There's a buyer at 45, 46. I don't want to flatten out too quickly. If it loses 40, we're going to get out for a 10-penny loss on this one. Let's see what we get. Nice buyer up into 50. Let's post into the 60s. Yeah, decent move into the high 50s right now on LFS. No continuation quite yet, though. Let's see if we can put our stop so we can kind of take the subjectivity out of it there. And then we're going to post over here, Joey, just like that. And there's the print, man. We got the print on the reload. Let's go ahead and post now into the mid-70s, and then I'm going to post a little bit into the high 80s. There's 64 showing up. There's 70, Joey. Can we get continuation? Not quite yet.
Not quite yet.
So we do.
Not quite. Not yet.
This guy. Killing me today, bro. All right, so we're looking for continuation over here. There is 70 again, looking for that seller at 70 to get the hell out of the way, but he isn't. Bringing this one back down into 50, so trying to pack the patience here on LFS, knowing full well it is awfully volatile. There's 64 again. There's 70 again, Joey, but we can't shake that seller, so we're going to wet the beak there, and then we're going to move the next profit taker a lot closer to 7 since we got that beak wetter already. I am now moving up my stop to break even so that we don't take any L's on this part of the trade. So looking for continuation here on LFS. 70 seller again. Can't shake the 70 seller. There he goes. He got decimated. Run for your life, 70 seller. No, I don't know who's going to win here, whether it's longs or shorts, because there seems to be equilibrium between the two. But we're showing 77s now. Great look here on LFS on the reload into the trend line. So happy with this trade. And into 85s we go. Very pleased with this trade. Let's look at the other one, though. How are we doing here on BTQ? Okay. We've taken out half the position, and now we're topping tail again into that 689, 690 area. Here's what I'm talking about when I say again. Take a look at that 1110 candle, high of that candle, 89. Take a look at that 1130 candle, high of that candle, 89. So that's not good for the longs. But what's the other side of the equation? Because there's always two sides to the story, Joseph. The fact of the matter is we're still well above the 10 EMA, and we're looking like we're forming the second bull flag. I perceive the 930 spike and then the ensuing consolidation to be bull flag number 1. I perceive the breakout above that 6.25 at 1020 to be the forming of bull flag number 2, and the consolidation for flag number 2 starting at 1110 and basically into the current time. So BTQ very much in focus. Let's see what we get on that one. SOC is breaking down on me, that hot garbage. No, I don't mean that. Don't get mad at me, SOC. No, I'm playing. We took a lot out of this one into 70s, but SSC, no. But it's coming back down again. But here's the deal. So we're trading off trend lines today for some reason. And this one has also been trending higher low, and for the moment, higher low. Where does that trend break? Well, it breaks if we lose that 50 penny area. I think I'm gonna hold clear here on SOC. Joey, I got 55s. The break of the trend is 50. I'm willing to risk 5 pennies on this one. In fact, so much do I like this trade, I'm gonna add if we hold up the higher low
SOC.
here. Yeah.
Man.
SOC, yeah, you know me.
Man.
So let's go.
SOC, all right, I want to hit an animation here, but I don't know which one, man. We got too many of them rocking and rolling, so maybe we'll just skip.
LFS is flying again,
It's flying? Are you still in it?
Joey. No, man, we took it out.
Oh, you took it out? Oh, it's back towards the high. It's doing all right.
That was an estupido move.
Oh, okay. Aside from that, guys, let's take a look at some of the other names. There goes Netflix approaching the high of the day as well, too, guys. So you can see that 112.84 level coming into play. And what does this look like from
what does
daily?
It look like, Joe?
Sharif, I get to go shopping, my boy.
You're going shopping.
Well, I mean, we're sitting on
that kind of shopping.
We're sitting in
not
a little,
the Ram
no,
kind of
not
shopping.
the Ram
okay,
type shopping.
Good,
we're sitting on a little bit of cash here, guys. So I'm just looking. I already texted a list of things that I'm looking to allocate into. So Netflix, Netflix might be involved in that. So who knows, man? I got a big basket of names that we like. But other than that, guys, here it is. This is what I'm talking about in a strong underlying here, considering we're not having these deep pullbacks in which we typically seen over the past couple of sessions or even the month or so. So for me, this is just signaling a really strong name, and you want to continue with that strength. So if we do get any sort of an aggressive pullback and the volume is relatively light, I think that's going to be a good add opportunity to put on some more shares, get that reload in, and then put this in for a new high of the day. So it's been a solid bounce off the lows in IBIT. 51.63 has been the low, and we're up about $2 from that point, a little bit less, but who's counting? Right? I am most definitely, but at the end of the day, let's see what we got going on from an options chain standpoint. We know we got that NVDA earnings report tomorrow. After the bell. Also, what needs to be taken into consideration is if the open interest at that 210 level has started to increase. But where can we see a potential ceiling here in Bitcoin over the week, Sharif? Maybe 53. Okay. We do have 12,900 contracts, but it seems that we're absorbing that. 57, I'm not going to say is going to be in the works. That's definitely going to be a call wall. But what's our next level? We have the 56s, 55s. So we might see a couple more point bounce in Bitcoin by the end of the week, but we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, all right? But what we do want to kind of look at right now, and that's going to be the king of the chips, NVDA, and has 210 started to grow? Sharif, it has not 104,000 current open contracts with 34,000 traded on the session, so take that into consideration. But what I am noticing here now is that 200 level is growing substantially with 144,000.
All right, man, we're back into LFS. It just got into my print. There it goes, Joey, again, man. 741 high. We've got 15s on this one now. We just took 40s. We literally took the high of the day. There's an aggressive seller, though, at 30. So keep your eye out on this one as it drops back in. Look, there's a lot of topping tail candles, which is kind of, you know, it kind of jives with the market with aggressive selling. There it breaks 70 again, so it'll flatten out. And if it holds trend, I'll get back in on this one. So LFS, man, holy, a little zig, a little zag. Let's see if we can work our way back into this one. Keeps finding support at 7. So long as it does that, I'm gonna keep buying it. So breaking down, it always like breaks down a little bit below 7, then gets bought right back up. Let's be on the lookout though. We don't want to catch a falling knife here. So 7 buyer again, but it feels like the shorts are stepping in aggressively at the $7 level. I'm gonna give it to 90. If it loses 90, we'll risk 10 pennies on this one. A buyer at 7, but a seller at 4s. Who's going to win out? Who's got more money between the buyers and the sellers at this point? We're below 7 again here, Joey. Right back above 7 we go into 7s. Beautiful move back up here on LFS. Looking for continuation now into the $0.25. Let's post there, and let's post a little bit higher as well for a nice move up. But the 7, a little zig, a little zag. There's 17 again. We'll take the print there, but no continuation into the $0.25, at least not quite yet. So I'm going to send it off to you to throw in some stops.
All right, yeah, Hangry Wife, just take a step back. I think that's the best thing that you could do. I mean, it's not easy navigating these markets considering, right? And this is what we talk about when it comes to kind of just your edge erosion. When the market sentiment changes and you start rotating into different sectors of strength, and we start to get this kind of this price action that Mitch was talking about this morning. One day you're long, the next day you're short, and that can be difficult to navigate. So what you want to do is just widen your stops, reduce your size, and be extremely more selective in your trades, right? So if you're used to putting on, say, 5 or 6 trades a day, you're gonna have to reduce that to 2 or 3. And what does that require? You have to sit on your hands a lot, and wait for those high quality setups. That's something that I learned in my earlier days, is that not every, we know this, right? We've been doing this for quite some time for the individuals in the chat, is that not every trading day is the same. Actually, none of them are the exact same. You have to come in and solve a new puzzle every single day, and sometimes it gets more and more difficult. So be patient, widen those stops in these heightened volatilities. I mean, what is the chances of Google moving $6? It's relatively high in this environment, but typically it's like a couple bucks a day, and that's all it's doing. So that average true range really drastically starting to increase, and that's going to chop you up quite often, especially when you have a little bit of an increase in the VIX. Now, I was saying to Gorv, across the board, we have a lot of inverted hammer candle prints, but with what my whole spiel that I just went on, I do like these signals. So if we break through, right now, we're not experiencing those dramatic V reversals. Even though I can eat those words relatively quickly, it's like one red candle, boom, you're off to the races. I think there's an exception within Google. But other than that, this print I like, this print I like, this print I like, this print I like. So what does that tell me? Across the board, there's a lot of technicals based off of the same thing. So be patient, wait for those additional liquidity grabs, smaller shares, wider stops.
Monster seller at 30. We're taking some out here. We got in like double the size at 7 because 7 kept getting defended. Big seller at 29. There it goes. 33. We're looking 35s, 40s. Joseph, wow. Move on LFS. We're heavily in the money here. Let's take some out. We got double the size, so we took originally. So let's go. on LFS over here. 30 sellers selling some more here. Huge seller at 30, at 35s. That seller keeps refreshing that sell order into that area. So now how many shares do we have on LFS? Okay, good. Really positive on this now. I had went negative momentarily. We're back into Positiveville. Still waiting for that print north of 50. We're waiting at 51s, but there's 34s, there's 39s, Joey. Good continuation here, but every single time we make an area high, Joe, there is aggressive selling. It's sort of reflective of the current market environment where we see like a Google or an Apple being held down after having good news, because that is the overall market sentiment at the moment. So LFS, a good trade for me today. We're looking for more. 41s is the high. We're waiting at 38s right now, but we're going to have to take a timeout, guys, from all the small cap trading, because Adara has a very special guest at the big desk.
Yes, we do. We're super excited to have on today Grayson Anderson, CEO of Stamper Oil and Gas, trading as STMP on the Toronto Ventures Exchange, the TSXV. How are you doing today, Grayson? Thank you for being on with us.
I'm doing well, Adara. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's get right into the questions here. So what can you tell us about Stamper's diversified portfolio of high-impact exploration blocks offshore Namibia?
Stamper has 5 blocks covering 4 petroleum exploration licenses offshore Namibia that are present in 3 of the 4 major basins. We have PEL 107 in the Orange Basin, we have PEL 102 in the Lüderitz Basin, and then we have 2 blocks in the emerging Walvis Basin where Chevron's going to be drilling a well next year.
Let's talk a little bit more about Namibia specifically here, because it's actually become one of the most talked about oil and gas frontiers across the globe. So from your perspective, what makes Namibia such a hotspot right now, and how do you actually see the competitive landscape evolving as we get new entrants in the space?
So Namibia is such a hotspot right now because behind Guyana, it's had the most significant oil and gas discoveries of the last 3 to 4 years. We've had major discoveries from Total Energies with the Venus discovery. We've had Galp with their Mopan discovery, and we've had Rhino Resources with 2 discoveries this year. So those 3 discoveries are going to go to final investment decision in the next year or so, and could be producing somewhere between 500,000 and 700,000 barrels a day in the next 5 to 7 years. We've got the assets to provide that next wave of exploration success and production growth for Namibia in a few years' time.
Yeah, certainly very exciting. Can you actually walk through, speaking of a few years' time here, Stamper's plan for advancing these assets, specifically with regards to your timeline and your strategy for acquisition and eventually exploring here, drilling on those Namibian blocks?
Yes, thank you, Adara. So right now we have 5 blocks. We're non-operated parties, so we're working with our partners to get farm-out activities happening so that ultimately we can have wells drilled on those blocks. Over the long term, exploration is a statistical exercise, so the more blocks you have, the more wells you get drilled, ultimately the higher your chance of success to create that really big multiple driving opportunity for shareholders.
So with that in mind here, what are the most significant levers that you see for accelerating the company's valuation?
For Stamper, we have 2 different ways that significant value is going to be created for shareholders. There's the general market and Namibia-focused activities that the rest of the industry's happening. We'll have continued exploration success there. We have continued farm-out activities. We have final investment decisions coming for the big projects. And ultimately, those are the things that we don't control directly. But there are a number of things that we control directly. What we've seen historically over the last few decades is that in the oil and gas exploration space, you get significant re-rating activity when we achieve a farm out, when we see drilling on our blocks, and ultimately when we have commercial exploration success.
Yeah, so do you have anything else here to tell our audience, Grayson, about how shareholders should think about the potential value creation from Stamper's interest, specifically in these massive Namibian opportunities?
Yes, Stamper's really well positioned in the most exciting offshore exploration basin in the world right now, being offshore Namibia. You know, it takes a little bit of time, but oil and gas exploration is a place where you can see, 5, 10, 20 times value appreciation, especially from where we are today. We've only started in the last couple of months, but we have a really solid business case and the assets to deliver that multiple type growth over the next 1 and 2 and 3 years.
Awesome. Thank you so much here for being with us. Grayson Anderson, CEO of Stamper Oil and Gas, STMP. Awesome to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adara. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Grayson Anderson and Adara for a fantastic interview there. Thank you so much, guys. Let's get back to trading. LFS is absolutely rocketing up, guys. It is clearing all the levels. Joe, I hate these stocks that go up so much because they make my trades look like absolute garbage. Okay?
We don't got it.
Poubelle.
Any of that. Hold on. We'll just do. We'll throw this.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna go like this? Okay.
No. We'll throw this one up here just because we don't got anything.
No. I didn't get rinsed.
I know you didn't get
brother.
rinsed. I don't have anything for it. Is what I'm getting at here.
Do you have a crying animation there? Like,
No, we got
that's
this
how
one.
I
We
feel
got this
like
one
right
though.
The exact opposite. Love it, brother.
All right,
but
man.
LFS is the rocket we all thought it was going to be, up 117% and very much holding trend. I want to bring your attention to my level 2. Whenever you see a red rectangle, see that one right there where it says 874? That is where limit up is. So you'll see that on both sides of the time and sales. On the left side, the bid side, and on the right side, the ask side. Limit up, limit down. That's what LULD stands for. So that's where we would halt at the moment because we know the 10% starts or changes every time the clock resets, right? So that always changes. The actual limit up and the limit down will change. So always keep it on my screen whenever I've got, whenever I'm trading these small cap gappers and you're trading them with me, you'll be able to see where the limit up, limit down is on my screen. Just look out for that red rectangle on either side of the board. And shout out to obviously Real Trading for putting that in. Shout out to the back end boys. The back end boys are responsible for that.
The back outside boys.
There you go. There you go. LFS, baby. Trader, TV, HR, departments happy about it. Shout out to Michael Lieb. LFS can't be shorted on E-Trade or Schwab. I'm looking at my platform here, which is IB, brother, and it's not shortable on here either. So, that kind of plays into the narrative of whether something is easy to borrow. And if it's easy to borrow, you may encounter shorts many steps along the way, so to speak. If it's hard to borrow, and one of the ways you can gauge that is to see on your platform, are they easy to borrow? Do you have shorts available? The answer to that is no. You've got a bit of an educated guess there. So that's what I'm keeping my eye out right now, Joey Options. We're going to get out of SOC over here because it's quite displeasing to me. And it's coming back down into my entry, so we're going to flatten out, break even on the last little bit. But I'm still interested in Epsom Salts over here because Epsom Salts is working back into $2. I'm talking, of course, about EPSM. It's dilly-dallying a little above $2, a little bit below $2. We'll see how this one ends up jiving, but it's up 42%. So let's put some respect on this one's name. How about this other one? Joey, I want you to look at this and I want you to tell me, does this ticker remind you of anybody that we know in the chat?
Oh, yeah, it's Bovin.
Bovin, you have a stock just for you. You're such a good small cap trader, Bovin, that the small cap trading gods, they met. They had a meeting and they said, we're going to give Bovin his own ticker, buy the ticker BHVN. And let me tell you, my man, this is not a bad looking ticker over here. This is some higher highs and higher lows. The only affliction from which you suffer is a little bit of a volume decline, which is displeasing, of course, to a small cap trader because we definitely need volume. Yeah, that's the issue. See, we're getting price action volume divergence, which I don't necessarily like, which could be, sort of the precipice for a retracement. What do I mean by all that? So let's just take this volume candle here at 1020 and use the analysis. So what are we seeing here with that 1020 candle? All we're seeing is higher lows. We're not necessarily getting higher highs on every, successive pop, but you're certainly getting higher lows. Well, how about that volume profile though? Oh. Yes, the exact opposite. Declining volume profile, increasing volume or increasing price. So that always does concern me a little bit. Now that can change with one big buyer coming in and changing that whole narrative, and then people see that buyer coming in, they start jumping in. So look, right now, BHVN looking real good. Definitely interested in working into this one, Joey, but I want to keep my eye on the volume so I don't get bamboozled.
All right, yeah, we don't like bamboozlement, guys. Shout out to everybody said Joe relax, but you gotta understand I'm party next door, man. No chill. whatsoever. A shout out to Party Next Door. But no, guys, in all seriousness, I want to take a short here on the TQs, but my risk to reward profile isn't giving me what I want. I don't want to risk $1 here at the lower end of the range. So if we can chop back up at near the top end of the range, then I'll look to take a little stab on that. But we have reloaded a little bit of IBIT, looking for an additional leg to the top side. All of these pullbacks do seem to get bid right back up. So I like our chances here. If it breaks 52.80, then we'll just hop into that trade. And the reload is a no-go, so shout out to that one. NVDA showing the exact same print there, guys. CoreWeave was trading relatively nice in the morning, and then you can see you get that inverted hammer candle right at the highs. No volume necessarily supporting that move, but once that candle breaks, you do get an additional couple points to the downside. Great. So yeah, keep that in mind, guys. Okay. We'll go over some of the options chain. Oh, what we haven't done this morning, Sharif, is the top performing sectors of the day. And let's see what we got going on here. Healthcare, we're up 0.4%. Consumer staples, we're roughly up about 1/5%. Materials, same thing, guys. 1/10, closer to 1/10. And then the real estate, the final one. So your top four there, all green. Utilities flat on the day, and then the financial slightly red. Comm services, you can see we're just down a little bit less than 1/10%. But the tech sector taking it on the nose. Look, the Eubank KO. Oh, boom, right there.
Bro,
1.5%.
I don't want to talk smack about people, Joey, but he showed no heart.
No, you think so? I mean, yeah, he just listen. It could have been just a payday and all that stuff.
He didn't look like it.
Dude. He didn't.
What the hell? What are you doing,
but maybe
bro?
he
People
got neutralized.
They filled up the worst soccer team in the world.
Yeah,
you know, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the worst. There's no worse.
Really?
No. They're brutal.
I used to like
and they filled up the entire stadium to watch two people not fight.
Yeah,
well, one guy was fighting. Sorry,
one guy was fighting. Yeah, our boy was fighting for sure. Shout out to him though, 110%. Shout out to the Ben family, Nigel and company. But there it is, guys. IBIT.
I blame 50, bro.
But that was a hot man. I whoop your hair, boy. That he came out said, I'm like,
you see when they asked Ben after the fight, they're like, when you saw 50 Cent coming out, did you worry?
He's like, what's he gonna do?
What's 50 gonna do?
Yeah,
what
what's
are we
he gonna do?
about
50,
here?
like,
I'll take a picture with 50 after.
Whoop your head. Man, Selena's, so the guy that I was telling you about, Selena's friend, you see is like standing right beside him, chilling with it.
That was the guy?
Yeah. I'll tell you his name off thing.
That's crazy.
But then did you see him? He sat right beside Turk.
Yeah,
he was right beside Turk.
Bro, Turk's killing it.
Yeah, I don't know about that guy, man. I
like him, Joey.
You like him?
Speaking of Turk, you know who's at the White House today? It's another Saudi guy.
I was gonna say, the Saudi guy.
Mohammed bin Salman.
I definitely wouldn't have been able to say his name, but I knew they were going to be there. But guys, there it is on the reload in IBIT. We're waiting for this. We also mentioned waiting for a better risk to reward here in the TQs. Do we take this attempt at the short, considering we are now substantially closer to the higher end of the range? You can see that we failed to establish a new high of the day, so let's take it before we get back to the lower end of the range. What we'll do is we'll post up at 99.33s because we like that number, and then we'll see if we can get a short to south of the volume weighted average price.
It's a good move.
Is it? Oh no, I just got a little thing, so I thought it would have been something else. But there it is. We're going to post up at 99.33s. We might catch a fill. We might not. Only time will tell. Oh, okay. That doesn't make sense. Okay, anyway, so let me figure this out here, Sharif, if you don't mind. Oh, there it is. Bang.
You want me to take over?
If you don't mind for like a couple of seconds there.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless I can catch a fill. Okay, I got to figure something out here.
Okay, EPSM, there we go. We're taking out levels now. There was a monster seller at 10. We go all the way up to 12s and then 10 right back in, man. Looking for continuation here on EPSM. We're back involved with Epsom Salts here. We're looking for a move into the $0.25. That is the day high, 224. But look, it's been a tough trade above 2. We get above 2, we get 15 pennies, 12 pennies above 2, and then we retrace. There's 12s again. Can we see some 13s coming up? I'm posted up a little bit higher, but there's no continuation yet on Epsom Salts. So let's pack the patience. I need to bring to your attention 2 new trades, okay? AREC, we've had this on the bottom chart here for a while. We just got into the day's high. We're about to take out the $0.50. Good looking bull flag continuation here, removing that seller at 45 who had been pooping on everybody's party. Bovin, where are you in the chat? Bovin, when there's a ticker, that's your doppelganger at the moment. There goes BHVN into the high of the day. It is at 911, declining volume profile or not. You know, it doesn't really matter, I guess. We need to look at the volume, I guess, given that what this one is doing. There it goes into another high of the day, 913, BHVN, a clean hold above the 10 EMA on the 5. Keep your eye out on this one. BHVN looking real good at these levels. Failing better. Joe, Sharif, same question. You've been through crashes, corrections, pullbacks, recessions, etc. What's your game plan and what's your advice today? Show them a chart of the Qs.
Show them a chart.
Show them a chart of the Qs. Show them a chart of the SPY. Show them a weekly. Show them a monthly.
Damn.
It is what it is. Is it going to embarrass you, or do you want me to do it?
No, I'll gladly do it, my boy. Yeah, I'll gladly do that. I mean, here it is.
And so what I'm, jokingly referring to here, and I'm not really joking, is when you get worried about large drawdowns, I don't know if you're a swing trader or an investor, you didn't really specify. If you're an investor, I take these opportunities, as Joe said, to make sure you've got some cash on the side. You never want to be, obviously, out of cash, because you will get pullbacks in the market, and then you'll kick yourself for not having bought at those levels. So you got to maintain some cash. That's step number one. Step number two, you want to be adding in at opportune times. You're never going to catch the bottom. Maybe you do catch the bottom.
Or the top.
I personally am not good enough to catch the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding at advantageous areas wherever I can get them. Use technicals to help you out. So if you like a specific area on the chart, you add at that area, even if it breaks and it continues lower. If you're buying the indexes, that's kind of what I'm referring to there. If you're buying individual names, it gets, of course, a bit more nuanced, as obviously that name will have specific.
Before we send it over,
show them.
Her scrambler says you guys have never been through a real bear market.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, hold on. Let me finish here.
I graduated in 08, 09, and I was trying to find a job in 08 or 09.
All right, let me finish. Let me complete this. All right. So this is when I officially started, January of 22. That is when I officially started trading right there, was January of 22. Pardon me?
That whole year is on Joey.
Yeah,
that whole year is on Joey.
It's all on me right here. So if you're going to tell me that I haven't sat through it, this was my first year, and I didn't know any better. And that, I swear, and that's going to be the largest drawdown that we've seen since 2007. So to tell me that I haven't sat through I sat through this whole
what
thing.
Are you saying?
I didn't even know.
Yeah. Can I say something?
Yeah,
we talked about this. I told you, when I graduated, I had to find an articling position. Yeah. And to find an articling position, you have to apply a year ahead. Articling for our Americans is like an internship, essentially, okay? And Joe, the firms we were applying to had interviewed like 300 people to fill like 60 positions. The next year, they were hiring for like 7 or 8, okay? So imagine how many people that they were interviewing at the time. And that was like the environment we had to live through for 3 or 4 years. So please, we have seen recessions. It's just when you look at the wider time frame, as he just showed you there, it is what it is. The market is what it is, okay? Especially if you're buying the index.
And listen, in 2000, I was 8 years old. Obviously, I wasn't involved in that. So again, to say that we haven't, I mean, in the past X amount of years, this is definitely the biggest one, and I sat through that. So I don't know. I don't really know what to tell you at the end of the day. Oh, but I know what time it is, though.
Yes.
Is it happening now?
It is happening now.
It's happening right now with the Dara and the Neil lesson of the day.
What's happening now is that the Nasdaq's actually at a very interesting level here. As you can see, lots of weakness off the open. We still have some traders not really sure what we're going to do here with regards to this rate cut coming in December. We're still about 50-50 split. Last time I checked the CME Fed Watch tool roughly an hour ago. But we're coming into these pre-market lows. So let's see here how the Nasdaq interacts with these levels. Either way, really nice recovery off the bottom as traders await NVDA earnings, the biggest earnings report arguably of the season and certainly of this week. Now let's take a look here at what we're expecting later today, because President Trump is actually set at any moment to start speaking to the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia. He's already arrived in America, the Crown Prince. I have the stream open, so once Trump makes an appearance, I'll keep you all posted. But either way, keep an eye on this. And if there are any comments of note, I'll keep you all apprised. I want to talk about GOGL because they actually had an announcement here today around 11 a.m. They announced that their search with Gemini 3 has now been launched. They're calling it their most intelligent search yet. And apparently this is available, again, via Google search through in AI mode as well. Let's talk here about CRWV. Speaking of AI names, because CoreWeave actually announcing at this Wells Fargo TMT conference that they've nearly doubled their revenue backlog in the last quarter. So keep an eye here on CRWV and a lot of these AI plays. We know earlier today as well, NVIDIA and Microsoft and Anthropic with that deal. So AI, especially ahead of NVIDIA earnings, always going to be something to watch. But right now, before we listen to Neil's lesson, let's talk about orogenics, because each year, guys, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S. There's still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE listed orogenics. OGEN is changing that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, orogenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule a meeting today. And listen up, because we've got Neil and his lesson. So Neil, give the people that lesson.
Thank you very much, Adara. First things first, I'll tell you right now, for when Joe's talking about when he started trading, that might be one of the most, to have started at an actual peak of a bull move as a trader is incredibly difficult. I see very few people actually survive if that was their start. But one thing I can tell you is, look, this pullback we're having is not overall ridiculous. I get it. And I think that's a fair comment to say. I think it's not, we're not talking about, the dot-com bubble. We're not talking about the financial crisis. However, some things from that era or those moves down can be informative. Because I've said this before, but what a lot of people don't realize, and I can speak as someone who, if I look at the decade, like I started in 03, if I look at that decade of trading, I'm one of the people, like most people, if you traded during that time, probably the financial crisis as a day trader was your best year you ever had. And it sucks because the market was going down and was doom and gloom. But some of the best actual trading days didn't involve just going short everything. It usually involved catching some relief rally longs. And to that extent, when we have something like that today, I think it can be instructive to try to figure out how not to get burned trying to find a relief rally. And again, all we've done is bounce off the lows to get back to where we started. But I think one of the first things you can look at is, okay, well, are you bouncing off something significant? If the answer is yes. And I had one long written in my note today, and it was basically Bitcoin. But I wasn't trying to get the lows. No part of me was looking for the low of the day. Like, long Bitcoin was not like, I'm going to buy the dip and I am going to win because this is the bottom. Literally the opposite of that was my approach. Like I said, we're trying to bounce off a support level, and you were doing a somewhat decent job of it. Like, here we were kind of consolidating. You can go to a 5. This would be a little bit better. Yeah, we're sort of consolidating in here and doing a better job. And then all I simply said was, if I start to see buyers above resistance, I want to join the move up, because that means the level is holding. Like, if we just head down, I'm not going to sit there forever and try and fight it. And let's be real, I should start with this. Like yesterday and the day before that, I started off short Mara because, Mara wasn't breaking resistance. I was short in the top, just kind of like yesterday. I'm like, yeah, if it does this move again, I'm still going to short it. And if we start breaking back out, we jump out. But at the moment I'm getting out of Mara, I look over at Bitcoin, IBIT, and remember that consolidation? It's breaking out the bottom. So look, there's probably traders out there, and I'm sure somebody, look at it, hold the low, this is it, we're going. Yeah, I'll sit out the first 1% of that move, and then just get in when it's confirming the breakout. And then I'll try, I missed some dip buys here probably, but then I'll try to play some consolidations for some continuation long. And that's the thing about when you're in a market environment where there is some panic and some blood in the streets, whatever you want to call it. I don't think it's that crazy in terms of where we are from the highs, but you can certainly say that we are at a point where a lot of people are feeling very bearish, and when that's the case, all you really need to do is just get involved when the buyers get back a little bit of control. Don't always feel the need to try to pick the bottom, especially in this kind of a market. Like, I came today and I literally had on my note, it said, if buyers above 52.25 on the 15-minute, I'm long. This is a 15-minute chart. Did buyers control there? No. Did buyers control here? Yeah, we closed above, I go long. Now I could have gone long here, I could have gone long in the open of the next candle. It doesn't really matter. I'm waiting for that control to happen, and then you're taking the trade. Because when you have a market where everyone's bearish, if you get it and it's a reversal, it's gonna be good. So you don't have to try to pick that low, because what can happen is if you do the same thing yesterday, right? Let's say that, like, the same thing yesterday, you're trying to buy this hold of the low, there's your open, there's a bottoming tail candle that holds the low, well then you're buying all this garbage if you're trying to catch the bottom, and then that happens to you. And then you're like, okay, well I think it's going again. You're buying all this, and you're just hoping to time it right that you can get away with one of these longs while you're in a downward trend. Or you can allow it to show you the buying, and as I learned literally on my first day as a trainee, sometimes you gotta buy high and sell higher. It's just an easier way to operate. Because here's what I do know. You are very unlikely, when the trend's just turning here and you go long and maybe you have a stop at the bottom. For me, I probably had a little bit tighter, it doesn't really matter. But when you do these types of trades, I promise you this, there's a decent chance when you look back and look at what are your worst days involving, were they involving when confirmation that the buyers were in control, confirmation and you took that trade? Or was it when you were trying to get a long in here or a long in here or a long in here? Which one ends up in your blow up days? And if the answer is these, then avoid them. There will always be a long opportunity out there. Even if it's not today, it could be tomorrow, it could be a week from, whatever it might be. But you gotta avoid those blowouts. And sometimes when looking for the long, that means I'm going to miss the first part of the move. And if I miss the first part of the move, so be it. That's fine, because the continuation can be good, and I'm not gonna get smoked trying to chase that long. So shorts in the morning like usual, wait for some control, know where you wanna go, what it is that you wanna look for, and play that. And that's what patience sometimes is about. Not needing to catch the bottom. It's fine and it looks like fun, but I'll tell you another little bit of a tidbit. And this was always, it wasn't true during the financial crisis because people on the floor were much better at catching lows. Whenever we'd have like a trend down day, I would look in our like risk blotter, and if it's like 11 or 11:30, and I would see the same thing all the time. Whether it was the good traders or some of the ones that were struggling, everybody was trying to catch the bottom. That's it. Very, very few people were still riding their shorts or flat. They were all in position trying to catch that bottom. And there's a reason for that psychologically, because there is no greater feeling than catching the bottom. We know this. If you get the low of the day, it's even better than, trust me, catching some short at the high. It's even better of a feeling. But you know what? You don't get paid on feelings. You don't get paid on credibility. You don't get paid on feeling smarter than the market. You get paid on making trades that are profitable and then making more on those trades than when you lose doing those types of things. That's it. And so when that's the case, forget about trying to be the smartest person in the room and you got the low, and just worry about making a positive trade on a bounce day. Set that up, hit it, quit it, hold it, make money on it, whatever it might be. And hopefully we'll hold on to VWAP here as the market tries to come back in. Good luck, everybody. Oh, before I move on, the chili was pretty mid. Yeah, it wasn't that great. It's okay, there's some kick to it, but.
About a couple different stories, some pieces of news that came up during the lesson. Let's talk about Upwork. UPWK came to my attention here on X. They had a nice pop-up. After a pretty bullish investor day here, they announced that they're seeing GSV here for 2026 up 4 to 6%. Revenue they're expecting here up 6 to 8%. So some growth here being forecast by UPWK during their investor day. COUR as well. Coursera is going to be on watch too. Coursera more got like a little bit of a pop here, but COUR with an AI related announcement too. They're actually partnering with Anthropic and launching new AI content. Now we also have commentary from Fed's Barkin here to be aware of. He says he agrees with Powell in that he does not think that the rate cut in December is necessarily a foregone conclusion. So some more questions here about the possibility of that December rate cut and COUR, and of course the last one there, UPWK on watch. So Upwork, Coursera, and Fed talk. Back to you. Still no Trump yet.
Sir, man, that's crazy. Don't
What
say
happened,
that.
Joey?
You know, obviously, you can't say that in the chat, man. Hunter Harvey, but you made me chuckle. All right, guys, there it is. Off of the, whoa, there we go. Reload. Right, or Katina Man actually does the real thing because I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm like, when I seen Katina Man do that, I'm like, do you actually know what you're doing with that? But hey, to each, yeah.
Well, okay, Mr. Powell.
Well, but Katina Man was the one starting it here, and I'm like, okay, all right, Katina Man, you're gonna charge that handle. All right, guys, IBIT, guys, we got that fill on the reload, so that's working out pretty good for us. Glad we haven't taken that short just yet, but we do have to be cautious on this 5-minute price action because you can see that we failed to establish a new high of the day and now starting to sell aggressively. So this could be the end of this leg. We absorb some more liquidity, fall into some prior resistance that can act as potential resort around 52, support around 52.75, and maybe we can get an additional bounce there. But the trend on Bitcoin is definitely strong and your friend today, not necessarily like the past couple of sessions there, guys. So that's all I got going on right there, Sharif. I've seen you had a nice breakout trade on.
Yeah, I'm quite happy
NVDA.
with the trading today, Joey. Let's start with the first one over here. We'll start with LFS because this one had another breakout. Where is it at? There it is. Had another breakout. We scalp a little bit, but it does have now 2 lower highs in a row. So let's see if this one can kind of change trend. It's got the right area of support. It keeps bouncing off the 10 moving average on the 5, exponential moving average, pardon me, but it is having trouble with 8s. It feels like, though, it's just a matter of time until this one sees the high of the day, which is at 77s, 877, and then likely, you never really know, likely on the way to 10 bucks if, you know, at worst, maybe 9, 877. This one looks like it's going to reach high of day again. Set up properly, though, on it. Exercise good risk management, good position sizing. But LFS, a good looker today for small cap gapper traders. Epsom Salts EPSM. We're still holding the piece here. Yep, coming right back down into my area. So we're going to take out some more here. So here's the deal with Epsom Salts. We added on the reclaim of the $2 area. It moves above the 10 moving average. It holds VWAP, yada, yada, yada. It's got everything going for it. Alas, what it does suffer from, though, is a topping tail candle affliction. Every single time it seems to make a new area high or a high of a day, it is immediately followed by big down moves resulting in topping tail candles. We saw it at 1025. We saw it at 1050. We see it again over here at 1205. So if that's going to be this one's characteristic, then we can trade it with that in mind. So let's see if it holds up at 2. If it holds up at 2, I'm going to add into this position, okay? Epsom Salts, shout out to the EPSM, okay? We also got here VNDA, not a rocket like we were speaking about earlier, but this one did manifest the flat top break through 5 1/4. But, you know, kind of like TMQ yesterday, which also had a flat top break, this one also seems anemic, right? Usually when you get a flat top break, because there's such a clear area of resistance and that seller's sitting there at 20s or 21s or wherever he's sitting, and then you finally remove the seller, usually you have a bit of a parabolic move up. You're not getting that. You didn't get that on TMQ yesterday. You're not getting it on VNDA today. So maybe I should stop looking for that. But in any event, we're still printing on it because we've got 14s and we just took out 26s. So not a bad look here for VNDA. What I think I traded incorrectly was BTQ. This BTQ looks like it's bull flagging. In fact, I think this is probably second bull flag. Whether we get a breakout and a continuation into a third, your guess is as good as mine. But what I did was, you know, I started getting myopic in terms of price. So I was like, oh, it's coming back into my entry, rather than looking at the wider time frame, perceiving that this is, you know, the bull flag consolidation part, and then we're likely to get a continuation above 90 pennies. I traded BTQ wrong. Am I positive on it? I'm positive on it, so that's cool. But that doesn't mean that, you know, I shouldn't you know, review my mistakes and see what I can do better next time. So BTQ, I'm going to look to work back into this one, Joey. And then Bovin, BHVN. What a day for Bovin not to be in the chat, but this one is clearly continuing to put in higher lows. You're not necessarily getting higher highs on every successive candle, but you're almost getting higher lows on, yes, every successive candle. So how do you trade that? Well, if you're asking my opinion, I'll never tell you how to trade. Put your out at prior bar low. For the most part, you won't get stopped out. There are intervening candles here for example, like the one that closed at 1140, which made a lower low relative to the prior bar. So, you know, that is part and parcel of that. Now, if you don't want to get wicked in and wicked out based on prior bar low, what I could suggest to you is use the 10 EMA on the 5 as your breakout. Bovin has been so strong, BHVN, it hasn't even touched the 10 EMA, not once, since basically 930. All the prints have been above. None of them have touched the 10 EMA. So that's another area where you can look to get out some there. LFS is heading back up, Joseph. So we got to cover this. Where is my LFS screen?
Let's go over
there
here.
it is. So now this one just made a higher high relative to the prior bar. It has a very clear higher low. It is above $8. It looks like it's destined to get back into that 8 3/4 or 77s, which is the high of the day. Let's see that move above the $0.50. LFS up 115%.
Yeah, that's a nice move right there. I got my eyes on it as well too, Sharif, just to see if we can get moving. The tape is relatively strong.
Yes, sir.
Do we dabble it in some LFS here and wait for that breach of the high of the day? We want to see the volume in the buying volume step in a little bit here. Okay, yeah, it's not too bad of a look, Sharif. I think this might be a move where we can head towards that high of the day. All right, yeah, I'm locked and loaded in some LFS. Let's see if we can break that 850 level, and then we'll look to piece a little bit off. Nothing crazy from a size standpoint. We're still holding on to this reload here in IBIT to see if we can take an additional leg higher. Sharif's in LFS. I'm about to hop in. Well, I'm already in it. We're going to see if we can get this move here, guys. All right, talk to us.
Joey, we got to tell them something. Some especially exciting news out of Canada for the sophisticated traders on the stream. It's by Beta Pro, and they're brought to you by Global X Canada, which is Canada's largest provider of leveraged, inverse, and inverse leverage ETFs, and they've just launched 6 new triple leveraged ETFs. They're offering you guys things like 3 times bull, 3 times bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60. They're also offering it on semiconductors as well as on US Treasuries. And if you're looking for even better, they've got better. They're offering you guys a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points all until New Year's Eve. Yes, December 31st of this year, plus the U.S. focus strategies they offer use currency hedging, which offers the potential for pure performance as well as exposure. So if you're tactical and you're a sophisticated trader and you want to amplify your performance, you need to check out betapro.ca/3x daily to learn more. There goes LFS, Joseph options. I was about to punch in, but I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do the ad read and then have this thing drop 40 pennies against me.
We love it, but still, man, that was tough sitting through that. Boom, there. We're going to get out there because we don't want to turn a winning trade into a losing one, but a nice little pop in LFS. Failed high of the day break on that one, but still, you get a nice pop there, Sharif. So the momentum most definitely stepping in with these. Hey, I'm going to have to take a page out of your book, brother. You got to post up aggressively on these. No marketable limits, because it will be gone by the time you go to hit that hockey, the price that you're specifically looking for. So not too bad of a look. Unfortunately, we didn't get into that $9 move, but hey, keep your eyes on LFS. I know Mike P. DeRider was trading this as well too. So nice work, my brother. All right, now back onto IBIT. That's what we're trading. It looks like it's slowly starting to climb back towards that high of the day. And we like that. You can see we're posted up at 53.30s. I might front run that a little bit to put it something at 53.20s. Let's do that now, considering we're speaking of it, and then we're going to take a look at some more options chain stuff. If you guys want to go over any specific names, we'll look at some earnings reports and see what we got going on in that front, and then we'll go over the expected moves, in which I believe NVDA's was something around 7.8% or something along those lines. We're going to double check before we make any more assumptions. Now, as for the earnings wisp, we don't want to say that, but here it is, guys. We're going to go through this. Oh, I didn't save our one thing that we needed to there, so we can go over our expected moves. So let's take a gander at what we got going on after the bell today, Sharif. Not too much going on. You got KULR Technologies, Powell Industry. Nothing really overly exciting, but come tomorrow morning, let's see if we're going to start to pick up. Target.
Palo Alto is reporting.
Is tonight?
I don't know.
No, Powell Industries.
Oh,
yeah, not Palo Alto. No.
Boy,
that's all right.
I gotta go home.
Because we got Pan W tomorrow, though, Sharif, after the bell. Target tomorrow in the morning, and then we have Wix.com, TJX, Lowe's. Bullish as well, too. Williams-Sonoma. I know Adara likes Williams-Sonoma, I think, there, so not too bad. Yeah, she does.
You ever buy anything from Williams-Sonoma?
No, I don't even. No, I haven't. To be honest with you, no,
That's
no,
okay.
no. Have you?
No, I was surprised. Maybe you got some Christmas stuff that Selena put up.
Oh. So you don't have any
The Christmas stuff is already up at the Wilson household.
Yeah, you don't have any decor up, dude. I think it's okay to put the Christmas stuff up immediately after Halloween.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
But I think the real question lies in when does it have to come down?
That's a great one.
Right.
That's a great one.
Right.
And I've told you about my neighbor in the front there.
Yeah.
It's the tree's up in February, Joey.
Yeah, I think that's no. You know what?
That's crazy.
I think that's okay.
No, man. No, man. That just screams I'm lazy.
That everybody.
Assassino says in Brazil they have a specific day, the 6th of January, my New Year's Eve, because I'm Orthodox, where they throw out the tree.
Yeah.
Same thing in Chile. Same thing in Chile, says the Chilean nightmare.
So you got the same thing rolling over there. Okay, what we want to do, guys, looking at some of these expected moves, guys. Okay. Leading into this earnings report, we're going to go over NVDA one more time. I think holding it till February is okay. It's still the winter. You still want to hold on to the Christmas vibes. I can get behind that. Now, 7.4% expected move with a high of around 196.02 and a low of around 168.96. Now, we've seen that high concentration of open interest at that $200 strike price. Keep that in mind there, folks. Oh, LFS going right back up there, Sharif. Do we get involved in this one more time?
Joseph. It's holding
trend, eh? Yeah. Okay. Oh, man, this is getting me excited. Okay, one more here because we got a lot of action going on here today in the small cap world. There it goes. It looks like it wants to take an additional move, but as for Palo Alto Networks, guys, high of around 215.55 and a low of around 186.98.
Joey, I'm gonna, before I read the ad, Assassino, Todd McLennan wants to know, is Max Payne on Apple options 250?
Yeah,
he can't tag you for some reason.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that.
All right, Assassino, we're ready to go. For too long, guys, trading meant risking your own money or not having enough to start with. The fear of losing, that's what kept so many traders on the sidelines. But that, thankfully, is all changing. Trade the pool, guys. They're transforming how traders access the markets. With its limited risk trading model, traders use funded capital, while Trade the Pool, they absorb all the downside. This allows you to focus on what truly matters, guys. The discipline, the consistency, and of course, the growth. And when you hit your profit target, you keep up to 70% of the profits. There's no fear, there's no barriers, there's just real opportunity. This is the revolution, guys, of limited risk trading, and it's all powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan that QR code on the screen now to get 10% off your first evaluation. Shout out Mitch and company. Look, bro, Mitch is not a guy that you typically associate with bearishness, but he sounded awfully bearish this morning with Brendo. Yeah.
He did.
He's like, the AI bubble is popping. And, you know, I really respect Mitch's calls. He's had some great ones. I've told you about Bloom Energy, which, you know, we were involved in.
Absolutely.
And so I respect what Mitch has to say. So it kind of caught me a little bit off guard, to be quite honest with you there.
That's fair, brother. Do I guess it doesn't really matter what I think at the end of the day, but do I think it's popping? I'm going to go with no, to be honest with you. I think things need to cool down. Is everything going to absolutely just go bottoms up? I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. Now, how are we going to define the bubble popping? What is your pullback? What is the correction?
We just saw record numbers for like the 80% of the S&P had record revenue.
That's what I'm getting at. So like, what are we going to define the pop? Like, so we're gonna talk about like what? Hey, the bubble popped at a 2.5% pullback. Come on. Like at the end of the day, listen. I understand we're managing this stuff from like a micro aspect, but at the end of the day, I don't think that's going to be the case. Is 250? Well, no, don't do it. No, don't do it. Hold on. Let me finish this first. Let me finish this first. All right. 240 maybe in the works. So you're asking if 217 was Max Payne, Sharif? Is that was the question? 210 has more open interest, but I'm think maybe 230 on the week. That is this week. That might be Max Payne. I don't think that's going to be necessarily the case, though.
I like what Rivian Millionaire has to say there. I think that's much more accurate of a statement. The economy is doing bad. It's not a bubble pop. I have to agree with that. Main Street doesn't always feel what Wall Street feels. We saw that, obviously, in the early 2010s when there was the Occupy Wall Street movement. People were pissed and they have the right to be pissed, okay? So, you know, we're not gonna sit there and be like, well, you should be happy. The market's at all-time highs. No, I'm not happy. There's things that, you know, are quite displeasing to a lot of people. A lot of people can't buy homes, et cetera. So we're not going to go through all that at the moment. But yeah, completely like that comment by Rivian Millionaire. Big smile. Can I read that, Joey? Did you have a chance to get it yet?
Go ahead and read it, man.
Uh-oh. Sharif.
Uh-oh.
The big question is, when does Selena make LJ? Oh, man. When does Selena make little Joey Smalls, LJS, start wearing those sheer Christmas jammies when he does the dusting around the house? Oh, my.
Crazy.
Yo, he gets away with murder.
He does. He gets away with
murder. I like him, though, man. I didn't have to read it. I know, Neil, but I did anyway.
You didn't have to read it, man.
Sorry, Joey.
Listen. I don't even remember the last time I wore pajamas.
I don't wear pajamas. It's shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, all day, man. That's how I run.
Okay,
Yeah, let's cut it there.
Man.
The only reason why Spile's saying that, because he knows, he's like, man, he has to take the family picture with the matching PJs, probably got the one piece with the trap door on the back as well, too. So I know that's what Big Kyle Burdett has got going on. Yeah, listen.
Joey Smalls is coming back with the fire.
I know it. I can just picture Spile with the trap door and everything. He's got the matching PJs and everything along those lines. But in all seriousness, shout out to One Piece, Big Spile. That's it. Hey, that's what I'm going to call you from now on.
Call him One Piece.
One Piece.
Yeah,
there you go.
Hold on, Joey. Boom! Into the high of the day goes Epsom Salts. We just took out 45s. Here comes the $0.50 on EPSM. Great move, 76%. We're at the high of the day now, into 54s. Look out for that halt band coming up here. No, not LJS this time. EPSM. We had 4s, Joey. We had 4s. We took out 4. I know. Sorry. All right, guys.
That's crazy.
All right, EPSM. Keep your eye on this one. I'm going to be looking to get more at 220 to 210. We're going with Dara.
I just have to let you guys know, Trump just began speaking here. His meeting here with the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia has just begun. I'm covering this. If there's anything of note that is said with regards to the market, I'll let you know. But just to give you guys a recap, I've seen some coverage ahead of this meeting suggesting that they could announce a cooperation between the countries on nuclear. And the other thing we're potentially watching out here for is an announcement with for Saudi Arabia investing heavily in the U.S., specifically with regards to AI. So AI and nuclear investments or cooperation potentially on watch as we send you back to Joe and Sharif.
LFS is dropping here, Joey. I want to bring your attention to LFS. It is coming back into the volume-weighted average price, which is a little bit above 7. Watch out for a potential buy zone here. If it loses VWAP, I'll have no qualms with it, Joey.
All right, tomorrow we will be premiering a brand new exclusive video featuring interviews with the host. We're going to be talking about life before trading. Get ready to know us on a whole new level. This video is a must. Watch to understand the full picture of your host, including a sneak peek into the major challenges we faced early on.
I remember doing those interviews with Tomas. And let me tell you, it was with Fabian and Tomas. And he puts you in the mood where, like, you feel at ease to really speak about your experiences, your life, and you don't feel like, you know, you're in there being recorded and there's going to be a bunch of people watching. That guy was solid, and I happen to like a lot of the stuff that we did there. Shout out to Tomas, man. Obviously, where is he again? Czech or Serbia? Where is he at? Yeah, but Budapest. That's it. Budapest. Yes, shout out to Tomas, man. It's been a hot minute since we've seen him, but I know he's obviously watching us because he's doing all these videos. Behind the scenes there, Joey. Yeah, but we're super pumped about, obviously, Trader TV Academy there, as you can see on the bottom right, guys. It's all in-house stuff that we're doing at Trader TV, and we couldn't be more excited for it. So stay tuned for that. More information is coming on Trader TV Academy. Very, very pumped to release this product, guys. Joey, what do you got on your side
I'm just trying to eliminate some of the tabs here, guys. So there it is on the reload. We take some out, then it comes back here. We hop out of that trade. So the reload, unfortunately, didn't work. But this is what I was talking about on the TQs as well, guys. Just posting up at the top end of the range. Of course, I'm not involved with it, but then there it goes. Bleeds to the downside, so bleeding its own blood right there. LFS did give up the gab right there, Sharif, as well, too, as it broke that $8 level, now heading back into $6. I mean, that's some rapid price action right there for a small cap. You drop $2 relatively quick. So now you just got to wait if AMD is going to curl over and who's going to be leading this race to the downside. You know, I'm going to get this off of my chart for now anyways, but Google's starting to come in as well too, guys. So if we head on to the...
Yeah, he sent me this to send to you.
Bro,
Shout out to Big Smile. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. That's a face only a mother could love right there, bro. I love him, right? Shout out to Big Smile. We love him, bro. We love him. We love him.
That is legit. Oh, my poor guy, man. He got the one.
That's my man right there. That's my man.
Too. Yeah,
I love him.
Face and only a mother could love is right, brother. Oh, okay. LFS looking pretty good. I got to get back to this one more time. Yeah, which is right. Yeah, that's a crazy jab. Oh, my days. Okay.
Wait, well, we're just supposed to get crapped on like day after day if we don't take shots at him?
I know.
Like, what do you mean?
The thing is, though, is that it's so true. It sucks, man. But at the end of the day, let's get involved in a little more LFS. Why, Shreve? Because we have this candle printed right here. That is funny. Shout out to him. I'm glad you're doing pretty good there, brother. Obviously, it's all ish and giggles. So let's get small size here on LFS to see if we can get additional bounce bang. We're in right at the volume weighted average price, looking for that move higher once again. A nice hammer candle printed, Shreve.
Toxic, brother, I don't see your message. LFS, oh, okay, I see. So he bought at 857. Okay, so let's look at LFS. Brother, you bought near the highs. Okay, so let's talk about this one. Let me give you my honest take on LFS. Okay, so what I see right now, but there is trouble. So here's the deal. 877 top, we lose trend, we drop below 7, but look at what candle this is forming into right now. It's forming possibly into a hammer candle, albeit red. We did work our way above 2 levels right now, 7 and the volume weighted average price, which is a little bit ahead of 7 at around 714. Brother, I want to make something very clear about these small cappers, and I know that's probably going to be, maybe you don't want to hear this right now. You have to be super careful trading these. I get so annoying saying they're around for a good time, not a long time. Trade them carefully. Use proper risk management skills. They're not an Apple. They may not come back tomorrow. They're not an NVIDIA. They may not come back tomorrow. They're intraday trades only, at least for me. So right now, you're getting a good level of support at that $7 area. And it's not just $7, the psychological area of support. There's also price action resistance there now acting as support. What do I mean by that? Let's take a look. Look at these candles right there, 1020. Where did we top up? 714, 720. Again, we do the same thing over here at 1050. We get up into $7, reject. That all changes at around 11:30 once we clear 7. So my statement to you be as follows. If we lose 7 decisively in the next 5 to 10 minutes by printing something below 675, end the trade. But if we continue to hold above the volume weighted average price and by extension of that 7, then there's a good chance we trend back up, maybe touch 9. That's not guaranteed. So you're going to have to figure this out for yourself, right? Can't copy trade Joseph and I. There's just too much of a lag. And, sometimes with these small cap gappers, we're talking about seconds that make a difference because they almost spend no time in any one price area. So you got to be super careful. So I'm sorry, brother, that you bought this at around 857. If you're asking my opinion, if it loses 675, you got to get the hell out of there because that'll be another area low. And you can't be catching a falling knife. If it holds 7 in VWAP and starts trending back up, you have a chance at recovery. I hope that helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Very valid points. Even I never really typically trade these small cap names that are moving with this momentum. And I'm taking notes from Shreve every day. I got to post up. So as I'm currently talking with you guys and you're going over that, that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to put out some orders here just in case they do hit those triggers. And sure enough, you don't have those orders out, it's going to be gone just like that. I don't know what happened on that one, accepted it, but it didn't post up there. Come on, you can do it. Anyways, I got one order. Nice bounce off of the lows here in IBIT. Nice inverted hammer candle, even across the board in the likes of the TQs and the SPY. So we're looking for LFS to start to participate. We got out of that. If we come back here and start to turn around, then I like our chances. We're going to go to Shreve before we go over to it.
Yeah. Apparently, Darwin's saying that Trump called MBS's piggy bank, which is hilarious. He called a reported piggy recently. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, we're going right there.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know here, Saudi Arabia had already agreed to invest $600 billion in the U.S. Now, we just had comments there from MBS, who's, of course, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia. He just said to Trump that they could get that investment a lot closer to $1 trillion. Now, he didn't say it in super certain terms, but then Trump kind of asked him to confirm, are you saying you're going to invest $1 trillion in the U.S.? And he more or less said yes. So again, looks like Saudi Arabia upping its U.S. investment here. I'll keep my ear to the ground, as you guys know I do, and I'll keep you posted. Back to you.
He called the reporter Piggy. No, it's all good, Darwin, man. It's hilarious. Thank you for bringing us that news.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say, bro. All I know is that the media was having a field day today about MBS coming because it's the first time he's visited the U.S. since Khashoggi. And if you know anything about that, it was a Saudi reporter who worked for the Washington Post, widely believed to have been executed or murdered by the Saudi regime. No proof, of course. He was in Turkey at the Saudi embassy
I remember
at the time, and a lot of people.
And they have that one photo of him just before
going in and not coming out, right? Yeah, which is
you
crazy.
go in and then you don't come out. That's never a good sign. Sharif, look at me take a page out of your book there, brother. As we're posted up on LFS to see if we can get a bounce off of the volume-weighted average price. You see, we got that move into $7.40, but nothing north of that right now. So I'm going to be a little bit more patient. But what a big-time recovery in the market. I don't know if anything's going on, but a beautiful bounce, even in the likes of Bitcoin here, with that hammer candle right off of the lows. You have this print right here as well, too. So some nice moves that we're experiencing. Adair, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so keep an eye here on CAT. Was just mentioned here about manufacturing right now. They're talking about in the U.S. Then Trump just said Caterpillar has been incredible, and Caterpillar does move higher on this. Volume on this is not super significant, but either way, CAT moving higher as U.S. President Donald Trump says the company has been, quote, incredible. Back to you.
Yeah, Cat's been good. It's been good to Neil and I. And
you're
nothing to say about that other than we're happy we own it.
I mean, the build-out needs it at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it's, you know, they're coming at this from so many different angles. Not just the actual build-out of the data centers, but we're talking about the cooling, the heating. They've got so many different angles that Caterpillar is coming at. But
absolutely.
Guys, we got to bring your attention to 3 trades right now that are absolutely rocketing. CMCT is very spready, so you have to trade it carefully, but it's got a fantastic looking bull flag right now, and it just rocketed up into 1217. That is a new high day. It's up 27 and 2/3%. Epsom Salts, we're very much involved in this. EPSM, who I lovingly call Epsom Salts, into the high of the day again. It's all gas, absolutely no breaks here for EPSM, up to $2.75. It's up 90%, Katina Man, and Katina Man's chart looks ridiculous. Assassino, can we show Katina Man's chart there real quick? Talk about, tell me how many trades you've got today, Katina Man. Just take a quick look at the blotter. 240. That's a light day for you, brother. I know you can do more than that. No, we're kidding, of course. 275 on Epsom Salts. There it goes again into another high day as we're speaking about it. 279 up 93.5%, and it looks like it's on the way to 3. EPSM, and it hasn't been too spready, unlike, I should say, CMCT. Keep your eye out on this one. The other one that we keep bringing to you, Bhavin Patel, where are you at, my man? BHVN into another high of the day, 946. Looks like this one's at least destined for the $0.50, if not the whole dollar at 10. Let's see what this one's got to offer us. It's not a big Joey, 13 2/3, but who's going to complain? And the last trade that we've got on at the moment over here is VNDA, and it is at the high of the day. 535. We've got 14s, and we still have several profit takers waiting for this one. Let's see if any of them printed. Where's my VNDA? None. You know why, Joey? Because we got nothing posted. So let's go ahead and wet the beak there, and then we're going to wait in the low 40s for another profit taker. We're talking about VNDA, but it probably behooves me to take another look at Epsom Salts. EPSM is on the way, Joey, to 3. Every time I look at this thing, it's at another high of the day. And it hasn't even done too much in the way of shareage. Like, to be honest with you, it's only a $2 to $3 name. 10.5 million shares on the day. It's up 100%. You'd think this one would be at 40 to 50 million. Not yet. We got to pause. Breaking news.
Keep an eye here on AMD and NVDA, both of these moving higher as U.S. President Donald Trump says that the U.S. and Saudi Arabia are working on approving advanced chips here for Saudi. So again, the U.S. apparently working on approving, quote, a certain level of advanced chips for Saudi Arabia. AMD and NVDA pushing higher on this. Back to you.
People like punch into them thinking that they're going to go forever, and that's not the way. Right?
Yeah, but the first
that's
thing.
why I'm so annoying, and I keep saying it over and over and over. Right.
First things first is you don't mirror trade, right? You gotta think that you're.
I know.
I know. Obviously, you feel. Obviously, yeah, it's tough. But you can't really look at it like that because at the end of the day, trade, we did. Yeah, of course. I mean, you can feel sympathetic, but hey. Listen, man, I'm going to give it to you straight, and I'm going to give it to you.
Tell him, man. What's up?
It's not an easy game, man. You don't want to mirror individuals. That's for sure. You're going to have a bad time doing that, but get used to putting on some pretty bad trades because it's going to happen. It happens to the best of us. You mess up a bunch of times. The only thing that you can do from here on out is learn from your mistakes and then try not to repeat it once again. People don't forget. Most definitely people don't forget, Shreve. That's for sure. So lesson learned. Hopefully you didn't like throw the book at it. But other than that, you're down a couple of points. It's not too bad. Listen, I have worse stories that I can tell you in which I'm currently sitting in right now. So $1 or $2 right there is small potato. It's small potato. But for some people, it's not. But yeah, just don't mirror trade. It's that simple. Because as Shreve mentioned, you guys are a couple seconds behind. Regardless of what the situation is, if you're live with somebody, you don't copy what they're doing. That's just not the nature of trading. So there it is. What an absolute monstrous recovery here in the overall market. Thinking to go short. It's just like 20 minutes of selling gone in a span of 10 minutes. So I get it if you were short there and you get frustrated. That's just the nature of the beast here, guys. So AMD starting to form an inverted hammer once again. But EPSM, I got to have a small cap in the corner of my eye from here on out because these things are hella fun. I did get out of LFS just due to the fact that it didn't break up how I was wanting to. It is holding that $7 level relatively well. But other than that, man, as Shreve mentioned, not here for a good time. Or they're here for a good time, not necessarily a long time. So as for that, TQs, guys, continue watch over. We're right at the opening price. Keep an eye out. We're north of OP right now, so that's going to be right around $100 on TQs, and we're trading at 99.90s. I don't know what the case is going to be today, but any positive catalyst running into NVDA's earnings report, regardless of whose mouth that's coming in, could definitely send this stock significantly higher.
I just want to point out something. Reddit 2 tried. Okay, did you hear about this? Listen to me for a second.
Yeah,
this is super interesting.
No look?
No,
Okay,
not about price. So this Reddit 2 tried or whatever, it's called Triple G.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to, it's being made by Eli Lilly right now. They're talking about a possible 27, 28 release. It uses GLP-1s, GIP, and the glucagon hormone receptors. It's supposed to be insane for weight loss because it's like 3 combinations of GLPs and other things.
So on steroids.
But yeah, listen to this. So Eli Lilly is like in phase 3 trial or phase 2 trials of this, and it's not even guaranteed for human use yet. That hasn't stopped people on the internet, specifically in China, let's just cut the crap, okay, from actually making this, and they're selling it to bodybuilders online. So I got this video on TikTok yesterday about this. Can you imagine this? And the thing is, like, this company hasn't even realized $1 from this drug so far, yet people are already selling it online.
This is Eli, you're obviously.
It's Eli Lilly that's making this drug, and I had no idea. And then this woman over here on TikTok yesterday.
Did you find any of the bodybuilders that were?
That's not what I'm telling you this for. What I'm telling you this for is there is something in the pipeline for Eli Lilly that includes GLP-1s, but is like that next phase GLP-1. So if people are looking, thinking, oh, Lilly's kind of done because the GLP-1 craze is over, look at Novo Nordisk. No, there's something coming up from Eli Lilly. I don't know if anybody in the chat's had an opportunity though, or have heard about this. Anyway, we're gonna pause for a second. Adara's got breaking news at the big day.
Oh, let's go.
You can see it on the bottom of your screen here as well, but Meta Platforms here, META, pulling back a little bit, but this one had a pretty big pop up here. Meta Platforms, according to a U.S. court ruling, does not hold an illegal social network monopoly. So again, U.S. court ruling apparently saying that Meta does not have an illegal monopoly in the social network space. Back to you.
Interesting here, Chance Allison, bodybuilder here, using Retta. Okay, I'm assuming that's what he calls it since the spring. It's amazing. That's what he says. I don't want to tell anybody to use it, but the reason I was even bringing this up is not to create a market for illicit substances. It's just to tell you, for those who are thinking about Eli Lilly as an investment, there seems to be some good stuff in the pipeline right now if you're believing what you hear on the internet. And apparently, like I said, some of these Chinese labs, they're already making it there and they're selling it illegally online. Obviously, much to Lilly's chagrin, but they can't control anything because right now it's not even available for human use. So I don't know, man. I'm going to look at Lilly a completely different way. I don't think the GLP-1 craze is done. And as we know, obviously, that is a very important segment in the economy, weight loss, of course.
Absolutely. Meta, did you see Meta here, Sharif?
Go ahead,
go pull up Meta. Yeah, so Adaro just brought us that news there. No, I mean, hey, a big time balance volume supporting that move right there. Meta Platforms does not hold illegal social network monopoly, the U.S. court rules. So that is absolutely a beautiful sign for this name. Hopefully we can get a sustained bounce. We're going to take a look at it from a daily perspective and see what's going on.
Now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is
it. We're getting involved. Yeah, what is it?
It's industry standard now. 20.71. Oh. Industry is 20.66.
What does Jim Cramer say?
Uh-oh, I don't know. What does he say?
Bye, bye, bye. Bye, 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 bye. Katina Man knows that one there. Yeah. Bye, bye, bye. All right, no, but obviously I'm just being sarcastic, but there's a lot of good signals here across the board that we like here at Gorev. So another print. This one didn't work out. We did get a nice sustained bounce. I mean, give you 10 points, but I think this is going to be a good one, a nice, strong, positive catalyst coming out for META.
All right, we're still waiting here on VNDA, the only trade that I've got left. New high a day into 39s. Alas, I am waiting a little bit higher at 43s, and it is now 12:48. We don't have too much in the way of news today, so we'll start it a little bit later. We'll start at 1 for the news segment. But I want to bring in the side charts, talk about what's still moving here during the midday. CMCT, look, I wouldn't be using VWAP here for anything because I perceive it to be more of a line of best fit than any area of support or resistance. It kind of runs through the middle of the price action. It's below it again. What I'd be looking for here on CMCT is the holding of higher lows. That's how I perceive that. LFS, I'm really sorry to the viewer who lost money on this. It always kind of bugs me a little bit that I trade these and maybe some other people don't trade them with the same type of risk management, but this one is losing it, and it is losing it in a hurry. It is well below VWAP now in the 650. If there's any saving grace, and I don't even want to point it out, no, it even lost that trend as well. So this one does look like it's on the way down. I don't know where, 6, possibly 5 3/4. But LFS, for me, untradeable the way that it's looking right now. But look at these bad boys. BTQ, it's not up nearly as much as some of the others. It's only up 18%, but a fantastic looking second bull flag. Let me make my case to you. Bull flag number 1, right at the open at 9:30. We consolidate for less time, right? It's a more volatile time. Then boom, goes the dynamite at 10:20. We rock it up into 690. Pardon me. Then we consolidate a little bit. No two bull flags are created equal. They don't always look the same, but there's that sideways consolidation, and there is the break of the trend right at 12:35 into 7. Now, question is, do we get bull flag number 3? The reason I even question that, number 1, because bull flag number 3 a lot less probable than bull flag number 2. Secondly, we're into a key area of technical resistance. I'm talking about $7. So if we can break through 7 decisively, it puts the odds of a bull flag number 3 a lot more in the favor of it happening than it not. So we're going to keep an eye here on BTQ for that third bull flag, and then EPSM. Traded this one nicely, could have done a little bit better on it, but we had a good, I think, 205, and we took it all the way up into 60s. Alas, 297 is the high. Look at this drop down here right into the 10. It holds 50 pennies to a T. Now moving back up into the $0.75. I don't think this one's broken trend quite yet, but it is awfully volatile at the moment, given the range now is about 50 pennies, 297 high, 250 support. So be careful with this one. I'd be looking for a move below 50. That would be a stop out for me. I'd be looking to get back in at around 233 to 225. That's if it loses 250. If it doesn't, if it prints another 5-minute candle, will make a new high, that would be above 82 or 81, can't quite tell. I'd be looking long for a possible break of 3 with prior bar low as my out. That's my thinking. It's up 94%. Last but not least, Well, not even last. I have more to say. BVN continues to trend up, and I've had no trades on this, and I don't understand why, but this one does feel like at least it's going to get 9 3/4, if not 10. BHVN. I've been waiting for a deeper pullback, man, and this BHVN is not pulling back at all. 15%. Last here, I promise, is AREC. This one was decent. It lost VWAP initially, right when I sat down at 11 o'clock. So I was hesitant to trade it at all, but now it broke trend completely. Higher highs, higher lows. It seems to find support at the 20 EMA rather than the 10. So that's where I'd look to pick some up here on AREC. That's my look, Joey. Those are the 8 that we've got on right now. SOCs below VWAP and untradeable under my system. Likewise with LFS, trading below VWAP and untradeable.
These guys.
Joey first.
Yeah, bro, every time I stretch, because, man, I'm just like, they think the same thing, man.
Oh, yeah. Big Spile was telling me you were letting him go with Obi.
These guys are crazy,
he had to text me and let me know about that, man.
These guys are wild. I can't even live over here without you guys just picking everything apart. But no, in all seriousness, I don't really got anything going on right now, guys. So you know where we'll be. What's up? Stop, it was not whatsoever. So if it was that loud, then it obviously makes sense that it's closer to up to here. But you know what we got going on. Other than that, guys, we're gonna look for some other potential trades. What's Walmart been up to? I think that's a great look. Meta is starting to continue to climb. All right. We like Meta here. Why is this one locked though?
What happened?
That's what I don't get. What is it? FBL was it? Yeah. I believe that's what we have. FBL, hopefully that one isn't overly complicated to get involved with here. Let's see if we can get that rocking and rolling, Sharif. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Yeah, okay, so the order for this. All right, so yeah, aside from that, well, I was going to look to long FBL here, but it's blocked, so I can't.
Baseball, okay.
Yeah, it's blocked. So aside from that, guys, let's take a look at some.
There's going to be other ones. Meta X, there's a
METL, yeah, but
just throw it into your friend Copilot over there. I guarantee it'll like show you 20. Just put meta inverse or meta leverage ETFs.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I know. I mean, listen, all right. It's going to frustrate me, so I don't really want to talk about it anymore because I wanted to go long there. So there it is, guys. TQ is putting in almost a new 5-minute high. You got $100 and change right there. Now Meta's starting to head towards, or we're way north of the volume-weighted average price, but breaking through this 15-minute consolidation in which we experienced. So boom, right at 597, you punch through 599.27 is what we're currently trading at. So not too bad. Can we break 600? I think that's going to be in the works today. Maybe a weight has been lifted off of Meta's shoulders here, considering the judge ruling in their favor, essentially. I like this name for a potential long, and we're going to continuously look at that. There goes Netflix post-split. This could be an absolute beautiful buy. We'll take a look at the daily here as well, too. So starting to engulf some prints. We talked about the support levels being broken. So you go from 134 to where we're currently trading at. You're still at a 15% discount. I like that a lot. I like it a lot. No, as for AMD, I thought that with today's price action that we were going to break 232, but that hasn't been the case. A nice solid bounce, still a red day, but regardless of what's going on, a nice recovery right here. I don't know if I'm going to call this a head and shoulders pattern necessarily, shoulder one, head, shoulder two. Potentially. It's not that clean, obviously, Sharif, but
actually a good one, Joe.
It's pretty. It's not horrible, right? So if you do have
this Meta.
AMD.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. No. Well, imagine Meta was up here. That'd be really nice. But no, in all seriousness, guys, if you happen to get a open up below 224, I think that could be a potential short day. Until then, wait until tomorrow's session on obviously what's going on with NVDA's report. So after the bell, it's going to go good or it's going to go bad, as obvious as that may seem. So shout out to Captain Obvious. But at the end of the day, if this decides to bleed, I think it will pull back a little bit, considering from those April lows. This thing has been on an absolute disaster. It's been on the warpath, Sharif.
No,
how much percent off of the April lows? How much percentage from a percentage metric is AMD up?
19.64.
From the April lows?
Oh, April lows.
Yeah.
What is it at right now? It's 233. I'd say 107%.
Try 256%, my guy. That is something. Yeah, that is a duplicator right there. Literally advanced money duplicator. I kind of just shifted the old screen ski, so let's get this sorted out one more time. But other than that, guys, I have nothing really going on right now. Maybe a fade in this market, but do you necessarily want to? With the likes of Meta climbing higher, Google putting in a half decently strong session as well too. Haven't even looked at Apple today, so let's see what that name has been up to. And Microsoft.
Katina Man just like
he said he's riding the bear, no?
Screen there.
What's he doing? Riding the bull or the bear?
He's riding a burro.
He's riding the bull. So there it is.
Is that the bull?
There it is.
Okay.
Boom.
I thought it was a burro.
I love how this guy's face is on everyone, man. Let's hit this one here. Yeah. All right. There goes. Oh, there's Apple, guys. 268 and change. Diamond hands. There it is. Hit the hot dog cannon. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Adara, what do you got for us?
Big pop up here for Warner Brothers Discovery WBD popping higher as Variety reports that Paramount Skydance, led by David Ellison, is prepping a $71 billion bid for WBD with 3 Arab sovereign wealth funds. So again, PSKY plus 3 sovereign Arab wealth funds reportedly teaming up for this $71 billion WBD bid. Now, it is worth noting, seeing reports earlier today suggesting that Netflix also, quote, really wants Warner Brothers. But again, this $71 billion bid from PSKY, that could maybe trump that here, guys. If I get more details, I'll let you know. Back to you.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Adara. So yeah, essentially, I can't trade FBL nor AMDL, which kind of is no fun. But hey, we'll get that sorted out. Maybe, hopefully, eventually. I'm not too sure why. Bang everywhere, says Gorev. Yeah, this was the print to get involved with. I think with the TQs long, I just didn't notice it quick enough. So 97 and change, and now you're up with $3 from that point. So. A really, really good look on the overall market there.
All right, Joey, I need to bring a couple of new trades that are happening as we speak to our viewers right now. Big Bear AI is really, really catching a bid. Very clean up move here on the Baird one into $6. It's at $6.04 right now. Look at that. The last candle that was red, I think, was about maybe half an hour ago on the 5. Yeah, and it was a candle of indecision. These 2 candles right here, talk about a pullback. That's barely a pullback. BBAI up 8 1/3%, looking at taking and holding above 6. So that's number 1. Number 2, shout out to 2 New York cents who brought this to my attention. ANVS, good chart as well, man. Long area of consolidation at VWAP. Essentially rockets up at 9:30, does bupkis for a hot minute. Then 12 o'clock comes along. I guess it has lunch. It feels energized, and then it breaks into new intraday highs. $3.62. It's now up 18.15 and looking awfully respectful here at the 10 EMA on the 5. Your boy is going to put in a dip trade here at the $0.50. ANVS looking real good at these levels, but so is BTQ, so is AREC, so is VNDA, and so is BHVN. There is a lot running right now in the world of small cap gappers. There's a lot to choose from. So you don't need to take the high flyers. I'm talking about the LFSs. I'm talking about the CMCTs. There's a lot going on, okay? Also, Epsom Salts EPSM continues to hang out here at this area low. It dropped below 50 pennies for a little bit, but remember what we talked about? If it loses a 10 EMA or psychological support at the $0.50, take a look at price action support. Price action support can be one of 2 things: actual support or former areas of resistance that have been cleared and are now acting as support. I'm talking, of course, about this 1205 candle right there in a 1240. It holds up as a double bottom, and now this current 5-minute candle has a new high and an equal low. So up 76%. Epsom Salts looking real good here. But so is BBAI, right into another high of the day. Every time we're looking at Big Bear, it's printing another high, much like BTQ. So it's dealer's choice today for small cap gapper traders. There is a lot going on right now. So, be picky. be picky. You're not forced into trades. You're never really forced into trades, but when the pickings are slim, sometimes you find yourself making less than quality trades. So we're going to keep an eye out on those. We'll keep updating you on them, but it is now 1 o'clock, so let's get right down to work. We're going to do the news.
Let's get down.
Okay, before we go to do the news, we're going to go to Adara. She's got news.
Yeah, just keep an eye here on the market. We do have some questions here for U.S. President Donald Trump over whether he's interviewed people for the Fed chair position. He said that he had. The reporter then asked him, who did you interview? And after a long pause, he said he thinks he already knows the guy, quote unquote, that he's going to pick. He thinks he already knows his choice there for Fed chair. He would love to apparently get Fed chair Powell out right now. So again, U.S. President Donald Trump saying that he thinks he already knows who he's picking for Fed chair, and he'd like to get Powell out right now. Again, he did express some more interest for Scott Bessent to take the position, but Scott Bessent doesn't want it. So if I get any more indications of who he might pick, I'll let you know. But either way, Trump is saying he already knows who he wants for Fed chair. Also keep an eye here on MSFT. I'm seeing reports that SAP out in Europe is saying they're already going to be keeping Microsoft's EU cloud running if Trump orders a shutdown. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Let's get down to work. 1 to 2 months. Oh my God, bro. Man, as a soccer fan, let me tell you, I hate international breaks because all our players, they're really good. They all play for their international teams, and then they go and they get injured. This is one of our central defenders who's out now 1 to 2 months.
Playing for?
Brazil.
Oh.
Well, obviously, he wants to play for his country. Who can hate on that? But that's what always ends up happening.
It's the same thing, though. But you have to think about it like the same thing with the Olympics as well, too. So the Olympics during hockey season, the NHL players weren't going for
now they're going again.
Now they're going again.
Back,
but everybody's like, oh, there's again too much regulatory restriction and everything going on.
I mean, but like the international scene in soccer is a little different, man. These guys, like, they'll cut off an arm to play for their country. Some of these guys.
Yeah, I would.
It's like a big deal.
I would gladly cut off my arm to play for Team Canada, World Juniors, man.
Well, I respect that too, man. Yeah. All right, guys. Everything is breaking out. ANVS, EPSM, BBAI, BTQ. They're all moving here, Joey. We got to pause for a second, though.
All right, guys. Your heart will beat 100,000 times today, and every beat is a data point. AIML Innovation, CSE, AIML, OTC, QB, AIMLF turns that data into potential life-saving insights and max yield. An AI engine that filters noise, labels each heartbeat with lab-grade precision and shrinks ECG analysis from days to minutes. Their mission? To revolutionize how heart disease is detected, monitored, and prevented. Learn more at AIML Health and follow at AIML_Innova on X, Trader TV.
All right, Joey. All right. Bitcoin is making, is it still recovering here? 93.4, it's up 1.68%, and a lot better than where it was last night. Let's get right down to it. Bitcoin, Joey, fell below $90,000 for the first time in 7 months, signaling a sharp reversal in risk sentiment across, I should say, global markets. The coin now is down nearly 30% from its peak in October of course, 126,000, erasing all of 2025 gains, Joey. That sucks.
Yep.
BTC decisively lost a major chart support at 98,000 last week, opening the door, of course, to deeper downsides. Let's talk about it. So what's happening here? Traders point to renewed skepticism around future Fed rate cuts, which is, of course, a key driver of the liquidity sensitive assets, of course, like crypto. But there are other issues as well. Analysts highlight cascading liquidations as crypto-linked institutions dump positions accumulated during the bull run. So I want to go off script here for a second. So I did this video on TikTok yesterday where I talked a lot about the leveraged nature of a lot of these positions. Now, you have companies like MEXC, MEXC, which is offering you 500 times leverage. You have Future Coin, which is offering you 1,000 times leverage. All these are offshore brokerages, right? So they're not regulated by the, what's it called, the SEC or the CMTC or the other one. So that doesn't mean they don't have an effect on the price of crypto, which it clearly does. Ether also down 40% from its August peak. Weak liquidity in the October and the October leverage wipeout continue to weigh on sentiment across the entire crypto complex. We're gonna have to pause for a second. Breaking news.
Yeah, DIS moving around a little bit here. Disney, for a bit of a tangential reason. So I guess there's a question here for U.S. President Donald Trump from an ABC reporter. Trump objected to the question and the reporter and said that he believes ABC News should have its license revoked. Now, of course, ABC is under the Disney wing. Furthermore, Trump actually said that he basically called upon Brendan Carr, who's the chair of the FCC, to deal with this issue. So again, Trump calling pretty heavily here for ABC News to have its license revoked. And of course, that's under DIS. We did have a volume spike here for DIS on this as we send you back to the guys.
Here is what I'm talking about. MEXC. Assassino, if we can. I just want to do a full screen. Look at this. Launch of the 300x leverage on futures to amplify your profits and maximize your trading potential. Some of them, they're a little nuanced. Some of them will let you trade pairs. Some of them won't. The point is, it's crazy and it's unregulated because it's offshore. I'm not trying to blame only leverage for the liquidity sell-off or the sell-off, I should say. I think that would be a mischaracterization, but you have to assume, you know, some of these like crazy volatility dumps when there's really no reason to be selling and you're seeing aggressive selling, these are forced computerized liquidations, forced margin calls being done by a computer which has no feeling.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you. As for what's going on in the crypto space, not just Bitcoin alone, we know October 10th is when we experienced that mass liquidation event, Sharif. So it's going to take some time. Like a lot of participants were completely wiped out at that point. So it's going to take time for that new wave of buyers to come in. People restock their cash and looking for that wave who is actually interested into the space. So I think it's really important to note, do I think it's the end of the road for Bitcoin? Absolutely not. But full disclosure, I reduced my Bitcoin exposure drastically. Was it at the right time? Maybe not, but where have you seen me do this before where I sold some good names at some not the best prices, but I rotate into some things that have some solid appreciation. So that's just my neck of the woods. It's still my largest holding by far. So once again, just reducing the exposure by triple the 300 shares to be fully transparent there. But at the end of the day, I'm still a firm believer in it. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to get involved. We're experiencing a nice pullback right now. If you can see, if we can pull up my screen here before we go over to the ad. But as for those liquidations, guys, it's going to take some time for new participants to step in. Bang, there it goes. A nice little print on IBIT. We're going to take one more out there as Sharif does his ad read.
All right, guys, with just one stock, 3D Capital, you get exposure to nearly 60 plus early stage plays in AI, blockchain, biotech, and more, Katina, and they're offering a whole lot. Led by a CEO whose last deal returned 150x. We're talking 3D. 3D trades under ticker IDK on the Canadian Stock Exchange and under IDKFF on the OTC markets in the US. Shout out to Jeff Mendel. Subscribe to their YouTube channel for exclusive interviews and deep dives, and you could win 1,000 smackaroos, $1,000. This is your ETF for early stage innovation. Shout out to 3D. All right, Adira, it's been an insane couple of weeks in Bitcoin and crypto markets. Give us your take.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that I really just want to say here, and it's kind of a more general point on this whole crypto trade, is that A, not everything is trading together, and B, I think you can find some opportunities in this, I guess, mess here for Bitcoin for some divergence. So for example, here's MSTR actually at day's highs, and they were strong even before the pop with the rest of the market. Now, Coinbase a little bit more consolidative, but actually weaker when we had that MSTR making new high of days. So the point I'm trying to make here is, regardless of the move with BTC, I think that traders can likely benefit from the fact that these crypto names are not all trading together as they once were. They are moving on their own. They're not moving in tandem with one another, and sometimes not even with Bitcoin. So I think the fact that these crypto equities are acting like independent equities is an interesting trading opportunity. For crypto itself, I think it's concerning, and I think unless we see like a clear base of support, could be a little bit scary for now. But again, as we have Michael Noss and many other people say here on this show, the crypto market is known for these pretty violent drops and pops. Also, Trump just concluded his press conference with the Crown Prince of Saudi.
All right, thank you for that. Shout out to Mel Urich. Great call out on CYPH. Oh, Rob, our screen went out over here. CYPA, okay, it's back.
Oh,
no,
no,
now it's gone again, Rob. So here we go, 290 area high on CYPH. This one was downtrending quite aggressively yesterday. Good recovery today, good call out by Mel. Look for a hold, I would say, of that 10 EMA and a continuation in 3, but good looking bull flag. Let's see if we get a bull flag continuation on CYPH. Thank you, Mel, for calling that out. All right, let's go on to the next story, Joey. Interesting take here from the dead one, Apple. No, it's not dead anymore. So let's talk about what's going on. iPhone sales, iPhone 17 drives a 37% sales surge in China, Joey. So Apple apparently captured 25% of all smartphones sold in China in the month of October, its highest share since 2022. So yeah, 4 years later, not a moment too soon. iPhone sales specifically, though, jumped 37% year over year, powered almost entirely by the strong adoption of the new iPhone 17 lineup, all the variants. Counterpoint says all 3 iPhone 17 models posted mid to high double-digit growth, with the base model leading unit volumes. Again, why? The base model qualifies for that Chinese government subsidy. So there's subsidies on certain cell phones to drive buyer demand, and the 17, the base model, qualifies for that, likely why it's the #1. Over 80% of Apple's unit sales in China last month came from the new iPhone generation, so they're not recycling demand with the 16. It's the 17 that's being adopted, aka a higher margin product. Let's go on. Apparently, there's record sales for Apple in China in sight, possibly here, possibly, underline that. Counterpoint forecasts Apple could deliver a record December quarter in China on the back of the rising ASPs, which is average selling price, and continued momentum for their phones. Rising average selling price are expected to boost revenue even if unit growth stabilizes. So a higher price, despite not more sales, could still lead to higher top line growth by the company. Good look there. But their competition is still lurking, Joey. Let's cut the crap. There's a lot of good Chinese cell phone makers that are really making moves, not least of which is Xiaomi, which we always make fun for copying Apple. But the Huawei Mate 80 series, which is launching on the 25th of November, which, according to research here, Joey, is a key premium tier rival. What do you make of Apple?
Yeah, no, I mean, we know that Xiaomi is a knockoff. The only thing I think that they should be worried about is the Huawei. The Huawei, I think some of the features on that phone are pretty cool. Obviously, watching some of the reviewers go over it, and I think it's pretty technologically advanced. But as for the stock in itself, is this the super cycle that we are looking for? I mean, those numbers speak for themselves. They're phenomenal. They're up substantially. You have that mid to I guess it is mid double-digit growth, which is phenomenal, and that's what we're looking for here. So Apple's been on a big-time run. I think it's going to maintain this. I think the sales are going to continue to grow even over here in North America. So as for Apple, super cycle on full effect. We were expecting this, Sharif, for the 16. We were thinking,
we didn't get it.
We didn't get it.
We didn't even come close.
We didn't get the release of the Apple Intelligence either.
We still don't have it.
But we have the 17, and it's putting up the numbers that we were expecting it to do with the 16 and the AI features that we still have yet to receive.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
If you instruct Siri directly to go to chat, it will. So you can completely circumvent Apple Intelligence.
Do you want me to ask ChatGPT?
I don't even need it to ask me, Joey. Just say search ChatGPT or check with ChatGPT what this is. And then it always gives you the same disclaimer every time, which is check for factual errors because chat hallucinates. We know that.
Exactly.
So we're going to have to keep an eye out on that. All right, guys. Adara, give us your take on Apple.
Yeah, so this is like maybe kind of doom and gloom or bearish or what have you, but and I've said this before, I don't know how bullish I find the whole super cycle thing as a long-term catalyst. So let me explain. So I think obviously it's really good for Apple's demand, especially in China, which is a key market for Apple. But here's the thing, if this many people are buying iPhones all at the same time, what happens to your iPhone sales the following year? Like, I think it makes sense that we're only getting these super cycles, as Sharif said, like once every 3-4 years, because you just can't really sustain that level of constant iPhone replacement on a yearly basis, right? So with that in mind, I think it's a fun intraday catalyst. Do I think this is a super sustainable or even promising long-term catalyst? No. So that's my take on that. Again, kind of bearish, maybe doom and gloom, but stand by it. I just said it.
Thank you for that. Jay, you're talking about Huawei being banned in the EU. You're talking about Huawei building out their 5G. But cell phones, I'm pretty sure the cell phones for Huawei are not banned in the European Union. Fact check me on that, chat. But I'm pretty sure it's just them not wanting Huawei to build out their 5G infrastructure. I know they were banned in North America as well, so not surprised about that. But double check, I might be wrong on that. All right, let's talk about Home Depot. It's getting worse here for Home Depot, man. Maybe it has to get a little bit more worse before it gets a little bit better. Down 4 1/3. Let's talk about what happened with the Depot here. They missed on earnings per share on their profitability for the 3rd straight quarter, posting 374 EPS below the 384 expected by analysts, and revenue slightly topped, but not enough to boost the stock. We're talking about 41.35 billion in revenue ahead of the 41.11 expected. They also, again, cut their full year profit outlook, expecting EPS to fall about 5% year over year. The previous drop was negative 2%. The losses are accelerating, man. Not a good look. Full year sales expected to grow by about 3%, so that top line number continues to increase, but that bottom line number, it's a hard row. Helped, though, by that top line number of the $2 billion contribution from the GMS acquisition. More on that in a minute. But comparable sales, again, will only be slightly positive. The stock is down, as I mentioned, 4 1/3, and it's down more to year to date now. I don't even know where it's at. Let's find out. Year to date, Home Depot's down 11%, 10.9. I'm rounding up. Let's talk about the demand weakness across the board for Home Depot. They expected a pickup in home improvement activity as mortgage rates eased. That rebound did not happen, full stop. Doesn't matter if rates were 7%, 8%. They're down now in around 5, from my understanding, south of the border. Still not moving the needle for Home Depot. Also, this is a kind of a crazy thing to say, but believe it or not, lower storm activity like hurricanes actually hurt categories like roofing, generators, tarp. They didn't sell as many of those because I guess we didn't have a bad storm season. I'll take that. Customer transactions also fell 1.6% year over year on the quarter, despite the fact that the average ticket cost increased 1.8%. The CFO says, look, we're dealing with a lot of macro pressure here. He's talking about the government shutdown. Why wouldn't he use it? Let's just use the government shutdown for the reason we're not making money. Rising layoff headlines, that I can see. Falling home values in pockets of the U.S. So that's a bit of a tough one there. But it's not all, doom and gloom. There was one bright spot, which happens to be online sales. That grew 11% year over year, a notable bright spot in an otherwise very sluggish quarter. And Home Depot, Joey, they're trying to pivot away from the do-it-yourselfer, and they're trying to focus now on the professional contractor by expanding their pro-focused offerings, which they see as a higher margin, more reliable stream of revenue. And they made major acquisitions. We talk about that GMS, but there is that SRS distribution they picked up in 23, and that GMS they picked up last year in 24 for about 18.25, now contributing to full year revenue. Companies also diversifying sourcing to mitigate tariffs, Joseph. They're looking at getting a lot more US made products, much like Walmart was doing. 50% of Walmart's offerings made in the USA. Kind of hard to believe.
It was like, assembled in the USA, which which I found interesting. But one thing that we note over the time when we were first going through the tariff tantrum is with HT, they were looking to diversify where they imported things as well too. So hopefully that's going well. But you mentioned that going directly to the builder sheaf has been a growing segment, not necessarily the home improvement, due to the fact that, hey, we're not seeing as many bad storms as we have previously, which I think is really important to know. But you mentioned the segment, the hard lines of building materials were mixed. Building materials saw a 9% decline, not too good. I thought interest rates would maybe give a little boost to some of the home improvement, because we've seen it in the likes of COVID as well too. Everybody's at home, they're gonna upgrade the kitchen, they're gonna upgrade the thing, right? And then now we're starting to get those interest rate cuts, so cheaper borrowing at the end of the day.
You brought a really good point up, which jogged my memory. Remember what we talked about yesterday, the tailwind that's helping Open Door, that's hurting Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac? Which is the Americans were always, one second, Katina, man, we'll get to it in a second. There was one big thing in the States that you guys couldn't do here that we could do. You couldn't transfer your mortgage to another house at a lower rate. You had to get a new mortgage at a higher rate. That kept people in their homes and prevented, you know, that desire to move.
In the States.
In the States.
Yeah, yeah.
That is changing, and that could certainly help Home Depot, because if you can move your mortgage at a lower 2% rate to somewhere else, then you're going to be more inclined to upgrade and to move in general.
Exactly. I think you have a year window where if you sell that whatever house or unit you lived in, you have a year to purchase another one at the exact same rate in which you had that mortgage. Yeah. Because I looked into that. I was like, okay, hey, they're like, hey, yeah. Because when I was selling, they're like, are you looking to buy something else? Because we can just transfer your mortgage. You have a year time span in order for you to do that. So yeah, or 9 months, something along those lines. But yeah, they give you a window where you can actually transfer that instead of having to get a whole new rate and everything along those lines. But as for Home Depot, guys, I think this is a big time staple, right? Like it tells a lot about the American economy. I don't know why it does this sometimes. Puts VWAP all the way up here. You are experiencing somewhat of a hefty drawdown. You are 428. Down 20%, so a little bit more than that, guys. So bear market territory in Home Depot, and this is the floors that we're consistently talking about start being breached, and there it is on HD heading in towards some key support levels, guys.
All right, Adara, give us your take on Home Depot.
I think it's interesting here too, because I was doing this Home Depot infographic, and I was also looking at Target so I could do an earnings preview for them because they report tomorrow morning. And one thing I noticed here that was in the note, Sharif, is year-over-year increase of 11% for Home Depot for online sales. Well, Target in their last quarter, they had a 14% increase in online sales. So it seems like even as these retailers struggle as a sector, which they certainly do, there's still a lot of online strength. Now, that's also interesting to me because I know, as you mentioned here, Home Depot specifically is trying to pivot more, I guess, less to the DIY customer. And then you wonder, are these institutions or are these contractors purchasing online? I don't know. I find it pretty interesting, but I do want to talk here about the monthly comparable sales moves during the quarter. So we had a 2% increase here in August, 0.5% increase in September, and a 1.5% decline in October. So that is actually kind of interesting. I wonder if some of this is seasonal. Maybe if we get more into the spring, we'll see more growth here in comp sales for these months. But even then, it's kind of, we'll have to wait and see. The point I'm trying to make is these numbers don't always kind of manifest how you think they're supposed to or going to. And I think as we get more retail numbers from Target, from Walmart, from Lowe's especially tomorrow morning, I think we might get some more light shed on some of these seasonal trends.
We can't see our monitor, so we won't know. Assassino, let us know when Adara's back because we don't have our monitor. Red camera? Oh, okay. Well, I can't see the red either, brother. Bhavin, why did you take so long to get here, Bhavin? Take a look at this, brother. Look at this, Bhavin. BHVN in today's highs. Bhavin, you have a ticker named after you. Shout out to my man, Bhavin. 963 area high. Bhavin, you got to punch into this position, brother, because if you're not punching in your namesake, well, what kind of a trader are you? No, I'm kidding, of course, I exaggerate. Let's go on to the next story. We're talking, of course, about PDD's earnings. Where are they at? Let's see where Pinduoduo, of course, the company that owns Temu. Where are we at here? I think we're down big. We're down bigly. 6% in negative territory here on PDD. Let's talk about why. Joey, they delivered a strong Q3 adjusted EPS of about 21.08 yuan, beating the 16.84 expected by analysts. But the adjusted net income also rising nicely, 31.38 billion yuan, up from the 27.64 they took home last year on the quarter. Revenue, that top line number continued to grow about 9%, slightly under, though, expectations. It was a slight miss there, 108.28 yuan expected by the street. They printed 108.41. I mean, give me a break here. That is, though, below PDD's once very reliable double-digit growth sales. It didn't grow double-digit this time, 9%. China's consumer environment remains very subdued, with job security worries in the real estate market not really recovering from the lows. So consumer demand still in China subdued, and you're seeing a lot of price cuts by Chinese e-commerce sellers as well as EV companies trying to stimulate artificially the demand. Aggressive discounting, as I just prefaced, by their competitors. We're talking about Baba, we're talking about JD.com. They all leaned heavily into steep price cuts and promotions to drive sales. discounts did boost sales volume, sure, but not at the expense of margins, which is exactly what happened here, Joey. So the promotion-heavy equilibrium in Chinese e-commerce continues to hurt their bottom line. What's your look on PDD?
Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff going on, Sharif, as you mentioned. So net cash flow from operations up 66%. The research and development expenses, though, up 41% year over year. So that's just the CapEx. And the street's not liking that right now, considering the whole AI build-out. We've seen that in the likes of Meta as well, too. With DoorDash increasing their capital expenditures, not too good of a look. But at the end of the day, if you're looking to kind of continuously build, you need to spend the money in order to make some money. Cost of revenue up 18% year over year. And there goes Pinduoduo. So we're continuously talking about these support systems and stocks running into them. Here's another name with Pinduoduo. Look at all these I know you like that across the board, man. Holding that. But now we just have to be cautious with this momentum to the downside, just in case these floors snap. There might be some next levels to lower. Where are we at? 119.95. Where's that next level? And I honestly can't see it right now until you head into the $95 target. That may take some time, but just be cautious of support breaking.
NVIDIA earnings in view, of course, is Brendo. Oh, we got Brendo there. There's Chilean Nightmare right there with Brendo. Look at that. Fantastic look there, guys. Wait till that's all animated. The clouds are going to be moving there, Joey. The Chilean Nightmare is going to deal with that. We're going to have like traffic on the streets. You're going to be able to see traffic right there. Yeah. It's going to be a good look.
Yeah, get a helicopter flyby.
Why not, right?
680 News, man.
Yeah, I like them. Brendo used to work there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Let's talk about NVIDIA. So, of course, NVIDIA reports after the bell tomorrow. Make sure to stay with us on the Market Recap Show. We're going to have all the coverage of that. So, you know, sad to say tech sentiment is deteriorating into the report as AI stocks continue bleeding out. But investors here are divided on NVIDIA, guys. Some see the earnings of tomorrow as the catalyst to kind of halt the AI drawdown. Others are looking at it and they're like, no, man, this thing still is not cheap enough despite the correction, and they're looking for more blood in the streets for NVIDIA. So we'll have to wait and see. Here's what the market's expecting. We're expecting EPS to come in at $1.23 on revenue of $54.83 billion, but we're also going to be looking for that guidance. In fact, that guide now has a 6 in front of it for that top line number. If my memory serves me right, 61 4/5 billion. I could be wrong. But we're also going to win here from the OG Jensen about AI chip demand, especially the trajectory of the demand, and comments on competitive threats. We're talking about Broadcom. We're talking about AMD, who have been striking deals with OpenAI. But we also want to hear about China. And he said, in his own words, the China market now is basically at zero for NVIDIA. So we want to hear about whether there's going to be any more sales coming out of there. As well, I want to hear about the competitors, the Huawei's, the others coming out of China that could be creating these advanced AI chips. So I'm going to be all ears on the call. Institutional flows, though, let's talk about this, Joe. Several large investors have recently dumped their NVIDIA holdings. We know, of course, Peter Thiel's macro fund exited its full stake. That was about $100 million. And SoftBank, for their part, they sold to the tune of $5.8 billion worth. That was last week. Peter Thiel's was earlier. Michael Burry is, I'm not trying to say Michael Burry's an institution, but a well-known name. He bought shorter dated puts on NVIDIA, betting on a sell-off, though he has since wound down the fund. So we'll have to see how that all happens. The AI market fears, though, and the macro stress is adding fuel. So investors are watching for commentary on China restrictions, supply chain normalization, especially when it comes to HBM. We just got word from Samsung. They're increasing their high bandwidth memory to the tune of 60%. Imagine how much that eats into margins, especially for servers where you have to throw in all the components. And the pace of hyperscaler spending, Joey. I don't want to hear about these guys dropping numbers, because if they start dropping numbers, if we hear Amazon correcting themselves saying, look, man, I don't think we're going to spend, I'm just giving you any number, 85, I think we're going to do 65, there's going to be blood everywhere.
That's a hefty
There's going to be blood everywhere.
But it will get to that point.
It will.
It will get to that point eventually.
And why, though? Let's talk talk about why.
Yeah.
Because there's some stuff that doesn't need to be built every time.
Exactly.
Like the actual buildings, the data centers have to be built.
Exactly.
The cooling, you can add to the cooling. It's not, you know, all brand new.
Exactly. So I think there's two ways that we can look at this, Sharif. So when that CapEx starts to cool down, there's probably going to be some fear within the market. But in the longer term, what is that going to tell us? That major build out is complete. But what is going to happen at the end of the day?
What's going to happen?
The margins are going to probably go through the roof.
Because they're not building as much.
They're not building as much.
Good point,
they're not spending as much money. And now you're starting to see that return on investment throughout this whole build out. And I think that's something really important that we need to note down.
That's a great point.
It will cool down. But what is on the other side of that? And I think this is what we're anticipating. This is what the whole race is for. And once that's completed, then I think you can take that second leg higher. I think in this AI boom I'm not even going to call it a bubble. I'm going to call it the revolution, the AI revolution.
Let's call it that. All right, let's go on to the next story, Joe. What do we got here? Baba launching major upgrades to their Qwen AI app. Where's Baba? Because PDD is down 6%. So BA, where you at? Baba's up 2%, man. Okay, good look. So pushing aggressively, of course, into consumer AI. We've been talking about that one for a hot minute. So Baba rolled out a newly heavily upgraded version of its Qwen AI chatbot, marking the strongest consumer-facing AI push to date after lagging behind rivals. We know ByteDance had theirs, DeepSeek, Tencent. Baba was late to the party, but better late than never. The new free Qwen app, it's based on Baba's most advanced Qwen LLM model, now available in China via mobile app as well as on the net, with an international version apparently coming later. No date given here. Let's talk about it. So this rollout reflects a clear strategic pivot. Baba had previously focusing on enterprise AI solutions as well as building out their cloud, but their Neo Cloud, still an important part. Neo Cloud is, you know, their cloud specifically for AI. Leaving, though, the consumer side underdeveloped, and that's why they're pushing with this Qwen model. The move response, of course, to the fast AI wars. Qwen is effectively a rebranded, I should say, and massively upgraded version of Tongyi, which is Alibaba's old consumer AI app, and that was released back a little bit ago. Just to give you an idea of monthly active users for these Chinese LLMs, Tongyi or Qwen has 6.96 million subs, so about 7 million users, which is not that good, man. A country of over 1 billion people, you know, 7 million users is not going to cut it. ByteDance, Dubao, whatever, 150 million. DeepSeek, I expected more from DeepSeek here, about 73.5 million, and then Tencent has about 64.2. So Baba, clearly the laggard here, and laggard by a big distance here, Joey. They have a lot of room to catch up.
So are you going to compare them to the llama of LLMs here?
That's a great one. That's actually it's a cool way to look at it.
Yeah.
I don't know if Qwen is open source.
Yeah.
I'd have to look that up.
Oh, okay,
I'm pretty sure the Chinese are leading the way in open source, so I'm inclined to say it is. So if it is, it's directly comparable.
Just because of DeepSeek.
Well, yeah, DeepSeek
right?
is open source. Yeah. We know that, right? Yeah. And the Chinese, even by Jensen's own words, are leading the way in open source LLMs. Or the North Americans are still definitely dominating the closed source we're talking about.
Yeah, you know, obviously the OpenAI
and Google
and everything along those lines. No, but in all seriousness, guys, the rapid performance and multilingual capability has made it a top choice for commercial banks, internet firms. This is Qwen, obviously. The LLM family stands out for its large, I just mentioned it, multilingual capacity, flexible operation modes, and widespread real-world adoption, which I think is really important. I mean, as for Alibaba, guys, we know that their build-out is full steam ahead as well, too, guys, with opening data centers in Brazil and other countries as well, too. I believe they have one in Europe that they're going to start breaking ground on relatively soon. But aside from that, Alibaba, listen, guys, this downtrend, I mean, this uptrend is still completely intact. You can see from January of 2025, from the beginning of the year, essentially, this thing has been performing pretty well. You're up 96% to where we're currently trading at, and substantially more if you go to the previous peak, and that's going to be around 135%. So I think that's something that needs to be warranted and noted, just considering, hey, we know that you're at the overnight risk of some of these ADRs, but in the likes of Alibaba, you can't really complain. You don't want to be buying the Pinduo duos. I think this name just has significantly more going for it. Give me a couple more ADRs here. There's Lee not performing what's good whatsoever. So, I mean, like, use at your own risk at the end of the day, but from what they got going on, they're spending the money. They're trying to stay within neck and neck in this race. So just be cautious on what you're doing. But I like Alibaba here. I know Katina Man wanted to buy a little bit down here as well, too, around 115 or something along those lines. So not too bad. I've seen some people are mentioning, we'll touch on the markets here real quick. We'll see what Zcash. Okay, that's not even a ticker. Oh, okay, Zcash Trust. Oh, it's the pink sheets there. So unfortunately, I can't pull that up for you. But this is the trade that we just put on here on IBIT as it came back into the break even. So you can see, I mean, we're shooting a relatively good accuracy on this ticker here today. So a nice consolidation around these highs. You get that leg higher. And I'm like, you know what, Rusty and I were talking about this. It may break down a little bit, but I just think that the buy program is on. I think it's going to be a solid cover rally because you can see that these pullbacks, I'm not going to call them micro, but you only have about 5 minutes of sustained selling, and then it just got it just gets bought right back up. I'm not going to say that's going to be the case for the remainder of this session. Just be cautious. But as soon as I seen this consolidation with the market pulling in the pre-market, I'm like, you know what? There's some signals that I've seen in the actual underlying from a daily print as well too that were like, hey, I think we have a potential bounce. And it was one of the first things I said to Sharif this morning, and I typed it in the chat as well too. So look for this move to be maybe a multi-day sustained move. Other than that, once we hit, I think we'll be lucky to hit $60 in IBIT in the coming weeks, but at the end of the day, only time will tell, and it's really important to just stay patient and stick with the flow there.
All right, let's go on to ARM, Joey. Well, much like a lot of the semiconductors names today, ARM is down. This one is down 2.8%, but I've seen a lot worse. They had an interesting headline today, so let's get down to it. They announced that Neoverse CPUs will now integrate directly with NVIDIA's AI GPUs. This integration lets hyperscalers build their custom CPUs and their GPUs, the pairings of those two, I should say, without relying on NVIDIA's own Grace CPU lineup. So you'll be able to use your own CPU. So this opens NVIDIA's NVLink ecosystem, allowing interoperability between ARM-based CPUs and NVIDIA's dominant AI accelerators. So nice to see there, because so many other people are, they're offering CPUs. You don't need to use NVIDIA's Grace, which is kind of limiting. The partnership reflects, of course, NVIDIA's broader strategy of partnering with all the major cloud and semiconductor companies as it, builds out the AI infrastructure. Tech giants like Microsoft and Amazon, Google as well, increasingly designing or deploying ARM-based CPUs to lower their cloud costs and control custom infrastructure. So this will definitely play into cost savings in CapEx for the AI build-out for these hyperscalers. These companies previously had limited flexibility when pairing custom CPUs with NVIDIA's GPUs. NVLink Fusion removes that friction entirely, apparently, enabling tighter, more effective AI server designs. So it's nice to see, Joseph, because we were watching as NVIDIA really had a closed source system for the most part, where you had to use CUDA, you had to use Grace, you had to use whatever Blackwell, Hopper, whatever you were looking at there. Now it's nice to see some interoperability with other CPUs, but that's not really, is it good for, I'll put that question to you, is it good for NVIDIA?
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's a horrible thing, right? Like, you can modify the stack now, essentially, is what you're getting at there. So,
exactly.
So I think that's not too bad, considering it's like, hey, where do we want to grab these things? What do we want to grab? So just that you can modify that, I think, can be something positive, 100%. But as for ARM, it's not been looking too good there, Sharif, as of late. So super 190 to, that's
look at that
30% haircut. And I mean, we IPO'd, what was this, back in 23, September 5th of 23. If you want to talk about sustainability, this isn't horrible whatsoever. You go on a nice big time run in February of 24, is where you almost essentially peak at 164. You do put in a new high around 188, but you can see that the concentration has been within this specific zone. And then now there's a key base being formed here as well too that I think definitely needs to be taken into consideration. So keep your eyes out on ARM. But hey, we know the longer the consolidation, typically in a strong name, the larger the breakout. And we've seen in the likes of Microsoft.
I like it, Joey. All right, do you remember Klarna? Remember that IPO?
Yeah.
Back?
Yeah.
Feels like a while ago now.
DMV, right?
Let's find out where we are relative to the IPO price, Assassino. Where are we at here? Oh, geez Louise. Okay, Joey, so we opened up at around 52 bucks. They never really want to be happy about this, but this is obviously a very clear downward channel since the IPO, and it seems to be, for the most part, respecting trend here. So this is KLAR, Klarna, of course, we know what they are. Fintech company, buy now. They also engage in buy now, pay later. Let's talk about them. They reported $903 million in Q3 revenue, topping the 882 expected by the street, and also growing that top line number at a 26% run rate. U.S. performance was the standout, where their gross merchandise volume, GMV, was up 43% year over year. It was really as a result of the rapid adoption of their financing tools, as we mentioned, buy now, pay later. It's not just a firm that's involved in that. Overall, though, that GMV number rose 25% if you're including the world with that U.S. number, up to $32.7 billion in gross merchandise volume that's being financed on their platform. The company posted, though, a $95 million net loss, reversing the $12 million profit that they took over last year. And the company is saying it's largely due to investment and expansion, as the company now a public company and they look to expand. Klarna Card, which had been a good line item for them, they've exploded that number to 4 million customers in just a few months, guys, since the IPO, now they're making up about 15% of their transactions with people using that Klarna Card, which is a higher margin product. Their fair financing, which is the longer-term installment plans with variable rates, saw their gross merchandise volume, which is their key metric, triple year over year, but still only reaches about 20% of merchants. So you feel it's not a consumer problem here. They've got to expand with the point of sale people, the merchants, of course. So we'll have to see how they deal with that in the upcoming quarters. Merchant count surged, though, so maybe they are making the move. So merchant count surged 38% year over year. They have about 850,000 merchants that they're working with now, but the average revenue per customer declined, indicating here broader but thinner per user monetization, which kind of makes sense if the consumer's getting tapped out here. We'll have to wait and see. The CEO, Joey, just to summarize, says, look, we're repositioning ourselves as a tool to save time, save money, and provide financial control. They're guiding decent as well, but the stock is down. Let's see, on the day anyway. Ooh. Where are we at, Joey? We're down 6% on the day, and we're well off the highs. Let's bring in the chart. I'm not going to look to the IPO high, but we're going to look to the IPO price. And right now, we are down 37% since the opening print on IPO day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, revenue up 51% year over year. You mentioned that strong growth in the U.S. The Klarna Card doing pretty good. Nice, strong guidance, as you mentioned as well, too, Sharif. GMV between $37.5 billion. You mentioned all of that stuff. So not too bad. But what doesn't look good whatsoever, Sharif, is the actual stock. Yes, down 42% off of those IPO days. I'm pretty sure Katina Man shorted this name. So nice work there. Not much I can really say about KLR. Not much going on from a technical standpoint. Channel to the downside as well, too. Not looking too good, guys. So you can see those consistent lower highs, but it's also lower lows as well, too.
Good call, Joey.
Into consideration.
Shout out to the man, Adam James HPN. Hola, amigos.
What's up? ¿Cómo está?
Check out my girl, Gur. I was trading Gur many times. This is a former small cap gapper, I think. Gur, good earnings. Bit hazy guidance, very much oversold. $7 billion pipeline and up 10 percentage points today. Not sure of the short float. Let's take a look at GUR here, Joey. If you want to, can you ask Perplexity what the short float is on GUR?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where's GUR's percentage up, man, on the day? Yeah, Perplexity. How's that one doing? GUR's up 10.5, man. Good look there for GUR, but look, this one also had a good day yesterday, and it gave back a little bit here in the open. So the closing print from yesterday is 1262. Yes, we are trading around almost 14 bucks. It had a big boy move in the aftermarket yesterday, Joey, as it reported earnings, holding trend. Let's look at the daily on this. Where are we at on the daily? Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, it's not a great looker on the daily, but I do like this 12.5 support level. This goes all the way back into 2024. There seems to be a buyer, and there has been a buyer here at 12.5 for a hot minute. Take a look at that candle there. That's the tariff tantrum, mind you. That's April this year. We get back into it again here. We hold it. We certainly had a lot of interactions with that 12.5. I want to say back in the early part of this year, essentially from January all the way until mid-January to early February. We were holding 12.5, and then this rocketed up all the way up, I think, into about almost 45 bucks. Since that time, it's been a series of lower highs and lower lows, but that 12.5, 12.25, an important level, I think, of technical support, unless you have a different look there.
Oh, yeah, 8.6%, so not crazy or anything.
Not bad.
Those lines, Sharif. Yeah, I mean, this is when you see a stock in play, right? So you have to take that into consideration for sure. But other than that, things have most definitely cooled down. And yeah, I mean, it's just some sideways movement right there. So not too bad. Or typically, so the short flow leverage is just a moderate level of short. That's what I mentioned there. Stock high with short flow is anything typically over 20%, and we're around half of that, just a little bit less there, guys. But aside from that, we got Meta, with just to touch on these markets real quick. We have Meta starting to climb higher off of that news that Dara brought us, so not too bad. Don't mind this here. Yeah, exactly. We're now back at 600 there, roughly. Sharif, what a discount at 583.
Well, we punched in today, Joey. We punched.
I know, good job, man. I'm going to buy some more as well, too. I mentioned earlier, man, I'm going shopping here later. I'm going shopping later in the day.
He's cashed up and good to go now.
I'm going shopping. Let's see what my good friend Robinhood is up to.
What's it up to?
We want to reload the boat on that one as well, too, Sharif. Because I trimmed at 122, so I'm already getting at a couple percentage point discount right here with the low of the day of being around 112, and we're trading at 116. So I'll take that 6 points lower all day, every day.
All day, every day, baby.
Every day. So there's that one. And then NVDA. Do I front run this leading into the earnings report? Because we want to increase the size on that. You think front run it?
I don't know, bro. I mean, every other time it's sold off after earnings, buying it after earnings would have been money.
Hold on now. How's our vote doing?
How's it doing?
Does NVDA exceed their expected move? Ram put yeah or no. 68% to yeah. So shout
Get
out
it, Ram.
Yeah, there you go. So no, in all seriousness, guys, does it exceed it? Oh, can we, Adara, I don't know if you can do this, but can you pull up the previous 2 or 3 expected moves on this? I don't know if you had that rocking and rolling already.
Ask Perplexity.
Yeah, we can. Let's just ask Perplexity.
We got to send it to Adara anyway, though.
Let's go there anyways. Yeah.
Warner Brothers and PSKY, Paramount Skydance, both moving lower here. Paramount Skydance coming out and saying that the information published in this Variety report suggesting that PSKY was working with some Saudi sovereign investment funds for a WBD bid. Basically, they're saying that's untrue. They're apparently that this process is confidential, which they respect, and they're not going to be commenting on it further. So again, PSKY saying that this report suggesting that they're working with some sovereign investment funds out of the Middle East, or sorry, not specifically Saudi, but the Middle East, to acquire Warner Brothers is apparently not true, and they're not going to comment further. WBD and PSKY charts looking pretty identical on this. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, I have to mention SGBX. Everybody's talking about it. Bovin is talking about it. Drop Systems is talking about it. I think even Case, Casey, 526, get it, Case. SGBX looking real good here, though. That 935 print there, that's an official high. So we don't have to look at the pre-market high with suspicion. That is an official print, and it takes us all the way up to 383. Dropped all the way down, held, though, 291, but did lose 3. Not on a closing basis, and it's been rocketing up ever since. Go, SGBX. I see this thing popping off here. SGBX, not a bad look. Into 70s we go. Get it, guys. We're up 15%. This one was moving plenty in the aftermarket yesterday at around 530. So be on the lookout here. SGBX making moves intraday. Good look there. Bovin says there it is, 70s broken. Shout out to Bovin. Let's go on, though, Assassino, to the next topic. We're talking about Google here, Alphabet, of course, the parent company, and Loop, very, very bullish on Alphabet. Not just the Buffsters in Berkshire, it's Loop now. So Joey, Loop upgraded Loop Capital upgraded Alphabet from a hold to a buy, citing renewed confidence in the durability of their core search engine, of course. Analyst Rob Sanderson, who covers Google or Alphabet for Loop, argues that investors' fears about AI cannibalizing search revenues are starting to ease as the business actually shows accelerating momentum. So what are we talking about here? Well, Google reported and their search revenue grew 15% year over year on the quarter in Q3, the fastest rate it's grown at, Joey, since the late COVID surge. So who can argue with data here? The Gemini app as well. And Google's not a one-trick pony. We know that. They're an ETF. The Gemini app now has 650 million disappointed monthly active
Oh, brother. That
had to come hot in there, baby. Had to come hot.
My boy, that's foul.
No, I'm playing. It's because Ram likes it. Anything that Ram likes, we're very much against.
You're going Oppo.
Straight to jail.
You're going Oppo automatically.
Oppo Taco. So query volume tripling quarter over quarter on Gemini, signaling, of course, increasing consumer adoption. The press reports suggest Google may have won the bake-off, so to speak, to power Apple's AI features. We know that Apple now is going to pay Google $1 billion a year to be able to use Gemini. We still haven't seen that incorporated, but we'll have to find out. And man, let's cut the crap, bro. Their Google Cloud growing at a 35% top line number year over year in Q3, a $61 billion annualized run rate now for Google Cloud. And their tensor processing unit, man, their custom chip architecture, obviously working with Broadcom TPUs. You know what that means, Joey?
What's that?
That means they can buy less NVIDIA chips. And you know what happens when they buy less NVIDIA chips?
What happens?
They hold on to their margins better because they're not having to pay somebody else's profit.
Tell me you like Google without telling me you like it.
What did I say Google was going to do? I said it was going to overtake Microsoft in market cap. It's going to overtake Apple next year in market cap. Google is on the way up. Short this at your own risk.
Yeah. Why would you ever want to be short this name? Listen, I've rotated out of some things, but the biggest mistake as of recent that I ever made was getting out of Google completely. Easily, hands down. Full disclosure, because that's what we do. Google's been on an absolute monster tear as of late, and obviously with the judge ruling in their favor as well too, just lifting that weight off of their shoulders that potentially dampened it for quite some time. April lows. Would you ever have guessed that a mega cap tech stock would be up 112% off of those lows? Who doesn't think they are? NVDA at the end of the day? Like, seriously, what world are you living in? This is insane. 122% in NVDA, but these are some of the best performing names in which we've experienced, and I think they're at the forefront of this boom, and they're going to continuously be. It's an ETF at the end of the day.
It is, man.
And you got to take into consideration, Waymo's still like 4 or 5 years away from being profitable.
Yeah.
What happens when that starts to turn around and they start making some money on that?
Yeah,
too?
Look, it's a fantastic look, and they have the most autonomous miles. You got to give them their
but remember what you said, though.
Yeah, because the FSD miles are not being counted here.
Exactly.
And there's plenty of FSD miles. But I got to tell you, Joey, I got to tell you, I don't know if this is going to be the needle mover, at least the way that
Waymo?
Yeah. Because it's just the costs are prohibitive. And I don't see them coming up with a different model. It's the same I-Pace, the same LiDAR. It's the same everything, which is fantastic.
Well, they're going to have to if they want to compete with Tesla, because we know their production capabilities significantly outweigh what they got going on.
Exactly. Well, how much is that a pop? Let's find out.
It's $230K a vehicle.
$230K a vehicle. With all included with LiDAR, everything?
$230K. So you're looking at
how much they got to make off that in order to reap it back.
So you have to take into consideration how much per mile are they going to benefit from this in Waymo, right? So they're going to have to figure it out some way. I don't know whether it's going to be striking a deal with a manufacturer.
There it is.
Which is going to be really, really important. Which they did
with JLR. But like when you're paying $250,000 a pop.
Do you need 1 million Jaguars on the road being autonomous vehicles? No. You can have the luxury package. You better get on the phone with like the Toyotas or somebody like that and be like, hey, we need a bunch.
What did you call it?
I said we better get on the phone with Toyota.
Toyota, huh?
Yeah, what, you don't like Toyota?
I like Toyota.
So why don't you call it?
I don't call it Toyota.
What do you call it?
Toyota.
So why do you say Toyota?
My man, that was the sickest thing you've ever said. Toyota?
Yeah, Toyota.
Assassino, am I the only one? He says Toyota as well.
As I say Toyota.
Guys, I need it in the chat. We need verifications immediately.
Toyota.
Is it Toyota?
Potato, man.
Joey, come on, bro. Like, if we don't, like, harp on each other, like, for misspeaking,
Toyota.
are we really friends?
I know.
You know what I mean? Are we actually really friends if we're not doing that?
Toyota, man.
I told you, dog.
Toyota.
No, bro.
I'm
no,
going with the Toyota, man.
I like it. Stick to your guns, baby.
Man,
Stick to your guns. You just caught me off guard. That's all.
You're like, who? I'm like, yeah, Toyota, man. Toyota.
Joey's a G, bro. Joey's a straight up G. Yo, the chat just woke up all of a sudden. I told you.
Joey Yoda. Yeah, man. Listen. Hey, that's
Neil.
what I call it, man.
Neil, we need to bring in Neil. Neil, can you chime in for one quick second?
Man.
We need Neil for a second. Neil,
I have no idea what's happening right
well,
now.
we're gonna tell you. We're gonna tell. Is it Toyota or Toyota?
Toyota.
Neil, just
Toyota.
answer the question.
It's Neil's like, what's going on here?
Toyota. What are we talking about?
Toyota, man.
Huh? Toyota.
That's what I said, Neil. Neil just shut. He's like, get me off, man. Randy, where?
No, don't bring Randy in here. It's done. We're moving over,
Toyota?
man.
Toyota. Yes.
We're going with Toyota, man. We're going with
We
that.
love Neil, man. We love Randy. We love everybody. We're having a great time.
Toyota.
Honestly, this guy is, he's a good sport. He's not even going to get upset about that. You know?
Why would I get upset about that? That's what I've been calling him my
People
whole
don't
life.
forget.
Toyota. Yeah, people
don't forget.
People do not forget.
Right.
That's really, either is fine. Toyota, man.
Yeah, the chat, I love the chat. It's undefeated.
Yeah.
Guys, as we're making jokes, SGBX Assassino rocketing up 18, almost 18%, 17.5% now. Shout out to Bovin. Shout out to Casey. Shout out to who else, man? There was a lot of people mentioning. I can't look from all the Toyota comments, but there was
See, now
plenty
you're calling
of
it
people.
Toyota, man. Toyota it is, brother. Toyota,
My man,
baby.
my man. Yeah, Toyota says Ref Ronnie. Joe is
Toyota,
Japanese. Man. He knows how to say it better, says Ozan. Shout out to the OG
Exactly. Ozan knows. It's Toyota,
He knows, bro.
It's Toyota.
Toyota. It's Toyota, guys. All right. Don't get it twisted, all right?
I don't want to hear
anybody calling
Toyota.
it
I don't want to
Toyota.
hear Toyota one more time, ever.
Guys, SGBX is really going here, and it's holding trend. It's looking real good. Shout out to the boys there in the chat. Here comes the high of the day. We are now at the high of the day. It is $3.83, Ram, and now we are at actually $3.83. So the question is, Ram, do we punch long, or do we kind of just take it easy? The Katina Man said no, and there's a new high of day. You're short SGBX, Katina Man? Okay. He's like, no. The Katina Man's short the triple Qs. He's printing up storms on that side of the screen, or I mean on that side of the desk. Shout out to him. But SGBX is no short Katina Man because it's getting into highs and it's likely to hit $4, up 19%. It's all gas, no brakes. In fact, we're so accelerating to the high side that the 10 EMA we've left behind about 20 pennies ago, all the way down into 363. I'd be looking to pick this up off the 10 EMA. However, you can look to prior bar low for your stop. You punch in. If it breaks prior bar low, you get the hell out and you kind of stop the bleeding and you set up at a better area. So SGBX, something I'm looking at here. Good look. Glenn Smith.
Yeah, Warrior Arun, man. He knows,
Get it, Glenn.
boy's right, man.
Oh, come on, Warrior Arun, bro. You can't say stuff like that. Look, I'm very, very liberal with how I allow the conversation to go on in the chat. I'll unblock a lot of stuff. I like the free speech. But, brother,
Warrior, man.
we can't be saying stuff like that in the chat. We have, people in there. Right? All right. Shout out to you. Send him home ASAP, says Ravi Fernandez. He doesn't like the way you're saying it, Joey.
That's fine, man. Hey, unfortunately, we can't please everyone around these neck of the woods.
Toyota Gate 2025.
Yeah.
Shout out to Casey.
Toyota,
Katina Man, we need your input, brother. We need your input. Katina Man, when you're saying Toyota, you say Toyota or Toyota?
Toyota, man.
The Katina Man spoken.
Toyota, man.
Nobody says that, Joey. Even
I am
Ram.
Joseph. I am somebody. I say nobody because I'm clearly saying it.
We just said he doesn't get mad and he just lost his shit. Okay, I like it. Shout out to Joey. I like that kind of passion around here, Joey. That's the kind of passion I want to see. That's fantastic. Ram got that all on video. It's
good.
fantastic. It's obviously going to get clipped and it's going to make its way all around the internet. What's happening, Ram? What did you get?
And at what price?
Hold on, you bought Open Door because I
What'd you
saw
buy?
you talking to Adair about it in the chat. What'd you say? What did you get?
Yes.
What did you get? Okay, you bought Meta or NVIDIA?
No.
Apple. Google. AV. She bought Broadcom, guys. I think that's a great buy.
AVGL? That's a
I think
good
that's a
buy.
great buy. That's a good buy. Custom silicon, 337. Should we do a little TA before we send it over to the big boys? See if Ram got a good entry or what. So we're gonna look at Broadcom, Joey, and we're gonna look to see if Ram is gonna get rinsed or she's gonna make some money. How much did you? Where'd you get it at, Ram? 337. So you're getting it at the low.